didn't necessarily get the chance to chat with her at
Girl, too busy. Putting out fires.
Yeah. Well, I want to officially make the intro. Kim, Renika, Kim, and Renika, she need to be at your next, whatever it is that help you decide who's gonna speak for TEDx, baby. She all of that in a bag of chips. So
thank you, Dr.
And host.
She'll behind the scenes make sure that she connects with you. Okay, and so now I'm gonna come back over to my Zoom.
And I'm just going in the live stream to Zoom webinars in this lobby. I'm going there. Well, I have to wait till you start. I'm sorry, Martina, that's on me.
Okay, I'm going to over here. Martina, that, and make host. Change host. Okay, so we are live streaming now on YouTube, just so we won't say no crazy stuff. And then I still see that little button that says start live stream to Zoom webinar. Do I just say, okay, good.
I just started it.
It's gone. Okay, let's let folks in. Let's get them fired up. And then let me go over here. I can always just put this up. I'll try to play a song before we start. If I click share, and then I do this. Oh, wait, I gotta put sound on. Is this the one I wanted to play?
Right within, I don't need no validation. I'm my own best friend, loving me just as I am. It's the perfect blend. I'm growing from within, from my soul to my skin. Every scar, every line, it's a part of my design. I'm beautiful, I'm strong, where I belong. In this body,
welcome back. We'll be starting in 4 minutes. Welcome back. Dr. E, good to see you.
But now I'm looking deeper and I found my love. Confidence is my crown, I wear it with pride. In every shade and size, I let my spirit shine. They tried to dim my shine, but I won't let them win. I've got a fire in my soul, it's burning bright within. I don't need no validation, I'm my own best friend, loving me just as I am. It's the perfect blend. I'm glowing from within, from my soul to my skin. Every scar, every line, it's a part of my design. I'm beautiful, I'm strong, where I belong. In this body, in this heart, I'm loving me from the start. I'm loving me from the start. Every step I take, every move I make, I'm claiming my space, no more heartache. I'm shining, I'm thriving in this life I live. Self-love is the gift I choose to give. I am enough, I am worthy, I am radiant, I am proud of who I am. I embrace my journey, I celebrate my body. I am love, I am strong, I am glowing from within. I'm glowing from within, from my soul to my skin. Every scar, every line, it's a part of my design. I'm full, I'm strong, where I belong. In this body, in this heart, I'm loving me from the start. So here I stand, glowing from within. A masterpiece in progress, let the journey begin. I'm owning who I am in every light and shade. This love I have for me will never fade. I am enough, I am worthy, I am radiant, I am proud of who I am. I embrace my journey, I celebrate my body. I am love, I am strong, I am glowing from within. I trust my inner voice, I honor my truth. I am a beacon of light, I welcome my growth. I am resilient and free, I celebrate every day. I am my own inspiration, I radiate confidence. I am beautifully me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I am my own inspiration, I radiate confidence. I am beautifully me. I'm glowing from within, from my soul to my skin. Every scar, every line, it's a part of my design. Beautiful,
break every chain, break every chain, break every chain.
All right, we are back. Now, I was over here just jamming, thinking that y'all were jamming with me. And then I realized I had my phone on mute, my computer on mute. Y'all wasn't hearing nothing. And I'm over here just a clapping, just a snapping. And I'm like, yeah, I know they feeling these words. So I'm gonna have to go back and play the song that was playing that I was jamming to myself.
We heard it.
Y'all heard it? Y'all could hear the song? Not this one that I was just playing. The whole time.
Yes.
You could hear it?
Yes. It's a good
How
thing.
could you hear it if I had my thing muted?
Yes, we heard it.
Powerful
I
word.
was
We heard
loving
it,
it.
Dr.
I
Cheryl.
was loving it.
Well, praise
Yes.
God. Look at that. You see what I'm saying? It worked out. All right. Well, welcome back. I'm going to turn this over to my co-host, Renika Weston, who just knocked it out of the park yesterday. So we figured, why not have her come back and give Dr. Cheryl a break? All right, I'm going to give it to her.
Thank you so very much. But I have to say, Dr. Cheryl, in the moment of Zoom, I was looking for the bio. So I'm going to have to speak from the heart, if that's okay, unless you can drop it in the chat. I don't see it, but I have to introduce Kim Webster. Kim is just an amazing, amazing light here in the DMV area. And if you did not get a chance to attend her SpeakerCon, or excuse me, not SpeakerCon, TEDx. Gosh, I got SpeakerCon on the mind. If you did not get a chance to attend her TEDx this past week, I tell you, you missed a treat. There were some amazing powerhouse women that came to the stage to share their message. And I must admit, over a year ago, I didn't think much about a TEDx until I actually had the opportunity to attend hers. Blew my mind. So without further ado, we are going to have her come to the stage and share all of the tips about what it is to be a powerhouse speaker. It's all yours.
Oh, thank you so much, Renika. Thank you, Cheryl, for having me. It is truly a pleasure and an honor to be here to speak to all of you all. So I'm going to jump right into it. I hope you guys had a wonderful lunch and a fantastic week of learning and growing. So today I'm going to talk about how to position yourself as a global leader. When people hear the words global leader, they often imagine someone with thousands of followers all over the world on a major platform, or a title that commands attention. This isn't this kind of talk. But in reality, global leadership isn't about scale, it's about significance. In my 25 plus years working in the corporate finance, international and domestic nonprofit leadership roles, and in the executive coaching space, I've learned that true leadership extends beyond borders because it's rooted in values that resonate everywhere. Today, I'll share 3 dimensions that define effective global leadership. They are perspective, positioning, and purpose. Let's start off with perspective. Perspective is seeing beyond your borders and looking at the world through multiple lenses. Positioning, crafting a brand that transcends boundaries. And purpose, building a legacy that sustains. I'll also share some stories from my own journey, from the boardroom to being the executive producer of a TEDx brand, on how expanding perspective, redefining positioning, and anchoring purpose can transform not just your brand, but the world. Let's start off with dimension 1, perspective, which is the foundation of global leadership. Global leadership starts with perspective, the ability to see beyond your immediate contacts. In the world of global branding, perspective is the difference between building a name and building a legacy. It's the ability to see your brand not just through your own lens, but the lens of every market, culture, and audience you aim to reach. A leader with perspective understands that brand resonance is not about replication, it's about translation. The same message will land differently in Washington, Lagos, and in London. What gives a brand global strength is the ability to adapt its voice without compromising its core values. I'm going to give you 4 reasons why perspective matters. One, it shapes brand relevance across culture. A global brand is not born from marketing campaigns. It's built through culture empathy. Perspective allows you to understand how your story, imagery, and tone aligns with the beliefs and aspirations of different audiences. Without it, even the most innovative brands can feel tone deaf or disconnected. Two, it drives authentic connection. Global audiences value authenticity. Leaders who operate with perspective invite collaboration, celebrate local identity, and position their brand as a bridge, not a broadcast. This builds loyalty and trust that can't be bought. It must be earned through understanding. Number three, it informs strategic storytelling. Perspective transforms storytelling into strategy. It helped brand leaders move beyond selling just a product to communicating purpose. For instance, TEDx U Street Women just isn't another TEDx event. It's become a global conversation about women reclaiming power, purpose, and visibility. That distinction was born from perspective, knowing how to connect a local movement to a universal narrative. And number four, perspective elevates vision from local to global. Perspective ensures that your brand's vision scales. It's what turns a local idea into a global movement by asking how your mission contributes to the world, not just your market. You invite partnerships, visibility, and impact way beyond borders. When building TEDx U Street Women, I realized that success requires more than just adhering to the TED guidelines. It demanded cultural intelligence, emotional resonance, and a deep understanding of who our market audience is: women. Throughout my work in Africa and other countries, I witnessed how women's voices were often filtered through societal expectations, told what we should do, how we should lead, and what spaces we should occupy. That experience shaped my conviction to create something different, a space where women can be bold, brilliant, and unapologetically badass. Without permission, I wanted to build a brand of rebellion rooted in intelligence, a movement that challenged norms while celebrating wisdom. It wasn't about defiance for its own sake. It was about redefining power through purpose and intellect. That perspective became the foundation for our global relevance. TEDx U Street Women honors TED's legacy, but stands in its own right as a platform grounded in authenticity, audacity, and inclusion. Our mantra, bold plus brilliant equals badass, emerged from that spirit. It resonates differently for everyone, and that's precisely why it works. It's inclusive by design. It invites each of us, regardless of our background or culture, to embody courage, intelligence, and vision on our own terms. That's what gives TEDx U Street Women and every purpose-driven brand its lasting power. To lead a global brand with perspective means, one, to recap, seeing the world through multiple lenses. Two, listening to your audience before defining your message, and adapting your voice without diluting your values. Its perspective is what transforms a brand from visible to visionary. In a sense, perspective is an act of humility. I'm going to repeat that. Perspective is an act of humility. The second dimension, positioning, the power of a global brand. Your positioning is how the world understands your value. And in today's interconnected world, perception often precedes performance. We'll go back to TEDxU Street Women. When I first launched it, I faced an immediate challenge. How do I differentiate myself between hundreds of TEDx events all across the world while maintaining the core values of TED? The answer wasn't louder marketing. It was clearer purpose. So I positioned TEDxU Street Women around a single question. What does it mean to lead boldly and brilliantly in today's work, in today's world? Every talk, every partnership, every visual design decision reflected that question. The result, a recognizable sub-brand under the TED umbrella, where global speakers and audiences who can see themselves in that mission. That same principle applies to executive positioning. An entrepreneur doesn't become a thought leader simply because they have the best business model. They become one when they transform their ideas into stories of purpose and impact. When they make innovation relatable and strategy inspiring. Global entrepreneurs must be intentional about the narrative that they build. They must invest in visibility that reflects credibility, not vanity, choosing depth over noise and influence over attention. Your brand isn't defined by what you say. It's defined by what others repeat about you. Positioning yourself as a global leader means redefining your message so it resonates across cultures and market, from Washington to Nairobi to Singapore to Sao Paulo. Now let's talk about the last one, purpose, leadership that sustains. We talked about perspective and positioning. Let's talk about purpose. The anchor that sustains your brand through uncertainty. Early in my finance career, I worked with an organization who lost 2 major funders overnight. On paper, that had a sustainability plan. In practice, all they had was dependency. What I built wasn't just their budget. It was their foundation of purpose. Every team had to answer one question. Why do we exist beyond the transaction? That process reveals something powerful. When your brand is built on purpose, it becomes recession resistant. Purpose transforms your brand from a vendor to a vision. Brands rooted in purpose attract people who believe what you believe, not just those shopping for the best deal. Transactional relationships rise and fall with market trends. Purposeful ones endure because they're built on shared values and long-term alignment. When the economy shifts, purpose-driven brands don't panic, they pivot. They pivot because they're guided by vision, not volatility. Their supporters don't just buy from them, they stand with them. And that philosophy drives how I approach partnerships for TEDxU Street Women. We don't seek speakers, partners, or volunteers and/or collaborators who simply just have something to promote or share. We look for partners who embody our purpose. For us, it's never just about what you can sell. It's about what you stand for. When a brand's values align with ours, when they believe in amplifying diverse voices, fostering innovation, and inspiring transformation, then the partnerships becomes more than marketing. it becomes mission alignment. What you actually sell becomes the byproduct, an expression of a shared vision. And that's what creates impact that outlasts funding cycles, economic downturns, and market trends. Purpose shapes the way you build relationships. Making decisions and measuring success, it inspires loyalty that can't be bought and drives actions that extends beyond quarterly performances. Because global leaders don't think in fiscal quarters, they think in impact decades. They understand that when your mission and partnerships are rooted in purpose, your brand not just isn't just resilient, but relevant across borders, industries, and generations. In closing, positioning yourself as a global leader is not about being everywhere. It's about being effective anywhere. You do that by cultivating these three things that I just discussed: perspective, understanding diverse voices, and remember, perspective is a form of humanity. Positioning, communicating value with precision. Can you articulate your value and precision and relevance? And lastly, purpose, leading with integrity and impact. What do you stand for beyond what you sell? Every decision makes either expands or erodes your brand. So I'll leave you with this question as you start your journey towards being a global leader. What legacy are you building today that the world will still feel tomorrow? Thank you.
I don't know if a mic drop is an emoji, but I was looking to find one. I was writing notes. I was looking for this. Oh, that was powerful.
Thank
The
you.
cadence in which you spoke gave us the opportunity and the space to be able to take notes. You gave us the recipe of what it means to truly position yourself as a global thought leader.
That's
Because
right.
oftentimes for many of us, especially if we worked in corporate spaces, we want to be global leaders. But to be a global thought leader, one whose message is recession-proof, one who knows their value and is consistent with it and can align with others, is important, whether you're looking to partner with you or to partner with anyone here in the speaking business. So thank you again. Can we please show some more love in the chat? The heart emojis, the hand clap. I'm looking for the mic drop, but I could not find it. So again, thank you so much
I
for
receive it all.
joining us today. Thank you. Have an amazing weekend and hope you will continue to join us. All right, so next we have up, everybody ready? I need a drum roll. Get up off your ASSETS. I remember when I was an associate director, I used to tell my boss, I want you to get that ass off my name, right? But now we want to get up off our assets. And we have Martina Britt Yelverton. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. A 10-time published author, business and brand coach, and systems development specialist with a daily goal to brand you, educate you, and help you to increase your influence and impact. And must I say, she has the baddest short natural I think I have seen in a very, very, very long time. It's all yours. Take it away.
Thank you so much to each and every one of you. I hope you guys can hear me okay. My name again is Brandmaster Martina Britt Yelverton, and I have had an awesome time, like I hope you all have had as well. Let me ask you a very quick question as we jump over into this information on today. How many of you have possibly invested in branding, a logo, a website, professional photos, and all of that before you actually had everything in place to run your business? Yes, keep your hands up. Okay, because here's my next question. Okay, how many of you wish you had done that a little bit differently? Yes, you. Okay, okay. Wish you'd done it a little bit differently. Well, today I am actually tasked with how to help you avoid 5 critical mistakes that new businesses, new brands, new entrepreneurs actually make. And by the end of this information, you'll understand why you cannot wait another second to implement a plan to avoid these mistakes. Mistakes in your communication, in your opportunities, in your operations, in your follow-ups, and in your contacts, right? Because here's the truth that nobody will tell you. A beautiful brand on a broken business is like putting a Gucci bag on a homeless person. Let me tell you, it looks good in the photos, but it doesn't solve the problem. What problem? More money spent on the bag than is in the bag. Yes or yes, right? So my job again today is to help you during this brief time that we have to qualify that statement, right? Because I could expand on my story as a young woman who survived domestic violence, marriage and miscarriage, death and divorce, success and business failures, evictions, plural, and who made it out of the welfare trap. Okay? My job right now instead is to help you understand the 5 things that you need to avoid before you invest any further inside of your brand, your business, or your speaking career, right? I want to help you avoid a $10,000 mistake that I made. And at the end, I'll be sure to give you a free tool that shows you exactly where your gaps are so that you will get up off your assets and get them in order. So yes, I was given the title, much like Dr. Jacqueline said on yesterday, honored title of Brand Master, because I too invested in branding before having systems. I launched, okay, I got clients, but I literally couldn't deliver. My initial business failed despite of a beautiful brand because I didn't know some critical things, like that my voice isn't optional, right? That my literal brand resides in the minds of other people, even when I'm not in the room. That my brand is how people see me, trust me, and will pay me. Literally, also, that my brand is my name. Your brand is your name. It's your story. It's your personality. It's your promise. Okay? Again, that idea failed not because I'm not talented, not because you're not talented if you've gone through that, but because a house built on sand instead of a solid foundation will crumble. You have to become the entrepreneur, the visionary, the speaker inside and with systems before you invest any further in your branding, before the doing, before the having. So first things first, and getting your assets in order, let's get our mind set, right? There's a quote inside of my most recent publication, right? The Cash Flow Queen's Journal. It's your 90-day implementation plan. And it says from Dr. Myron Golden, when you get the becoming right, the doing and the having take care of themselves. So the first thing I want you to do in this avoid framework, okay, is to ask yourself, am I aligned with his vision? Am I aligned with his vision over my life? Am I aligned with my own purpose? Right? Am I accountable as a speaker, as a visionary, as a business, as a brand to someone who's already completed this journey that I'm on? Am I accountable to a plan of action? And am I accessible? Did you know that approximately 85% of new businesses use their personal phone number to conduct business? Personal email addresses like your free Gmails, your free Yahoos, AOL. Before I go into that, did I mention I may step on a few toes? It's okay. If I'm stepping on your toe, just go ahead and put out in the chat. Because trust me, I'm not going to deliver any information to you that I myself or that I myself as a business owner have not helped other clients to get through. Your personal communications could be destroying your work-life balance if you're using a free personal Gmail, free personal Yahoo, free personal AOL and the likes. It's also bottlenecking certain areas of your business because it's limiting team collaborations. These could be some of the amateur communications. And one thing that Gifty did yesterday, she stated not only the real cost of the tips that she was giving, she gave you some real valid information that you could use. Like if you're not currently getting booked or you're not getting clients, it could be because those EPs, those event planners, may not hire speakers who are using free email accounts, free personal phones. Guess I can't say free because you have to pay for the plan, but who don't have a business or a professional presence. Why do I say that? Because when you got a job, did they not give you an email address? When you were in that cubicle, did you not get a company phone number? So a lot of us are out here doing some things that I am trying to help you avoid. The V in this method is making sure you understand your value, because you are all valuable. You are enough to do what you were purposed to do on this journey we call life. Do you understand what your vision is? Are you able to walk in that vision every single day, rightly positioned, back straight, knowing what it is that you are here to do? And are you using your voice to its greatest capacity? We have a coach, a mentor that has already dropped these 3 things in her top 3 critical things that you need to get in line with, right? Because she said somebody is waiting on what you are sitting on. Y'all need to get off your assets. It is having an impact in your business. You could have 100 interested people that dwindles all the way down to only 3 bookings. And all of those leads in between are falling between the cracks because you don't have a system that's working on your behalf. Again, the real cost of that is a system that tracks leads will get you way, 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 way more of that which you are currently potentially losing. Okay? Overwhelming manual task is the O in this framework that I'm giving you. You must learn to leverage AI and automations, right? Stop wasting times on manual tasks. Stop looking for emails 3 or more hours, 5 or more hours. Stop trying to find information that's scattered all over your desk 3 or more hours, paperwork 4 or more hours, scheduling your own everything 4 or more hours. That's 15 hours every single week. That's 60 hours per month that you could be speaking and impacting. The real cost is as a new speaker who charges $2,500 per speech, that's $40,000 over the year. Type, give me my 40K back in the chat if you can see where I'm going with this. If you are currently being inconsistent, then let's talk about how you can clean that up. I think it's Zig Ziglar. If it's not Zig Ziglar, it's one of the other good guys that says the fortune is in the follow-up. If you are not following up, you are missing your coins. If you are not posting regularly on social media and implementing a plan of action, again, you are missing money, impact. However, if you streamline your communications and you save some hours and you stop doing things manually, this is a month and a half worth of communications because life got to be lifing. But if you utilize an automated follow-up system, your results would look more like this. Your system hits them on day 1 because you put them in your system by the name of the event you were at. 3 days later, your system follow-ups with them, and it gives them the link that you put in the first email that said, hey, book via this link. The system did that. You did. 7 days later, you also have your system send them out some social media proof, and it will result in a new booking. Again, the real cost of doing everything yourself and not using a follow-up system. Is speakers with automatic follow-up systems book 3 times more than clients that are without. And finally, the D in this dreadful situation that I've given you and the things that you need to avoid is disorganized client information. If you have sticky notes, emails all over the place, phone notes, you're getting that 50 plus like me, 53 years old, sometimes can't remember what the last conversation I had was. You need to have all your contact information in one system where you can see exactly where the people are in your pipeline. Every email, every call, every text is recorded and saved. Contracts are automated, proposals are automated. This is how you get your assets in order. Because the real cost of that is that when your business is a mess, so is your income. Can anybody agree? If everything else in your sphere is a mess, so is your money. And I want to help you avoid that by doing 3 simple things. Look like a pro from the first point of contact. Get your business domain. Get your business email address. Get your business phone number. Put them all inside of your system. Never lose another opportunity, right? Leverage AI and allow it to work on your behalf. Have that business line, that support line, that billing line, right? Save that time back into your schedule. Use your automation. Leverage the professional communications. Have your funnels, your websites, your forms, your surveys, your calendars, your social media posting, and all of that in one system. That's how you get your assets in order. Now, I said I would give you something free so that you could utilize it to level up in your business if you want. Go to speakerready.martinabrittyoverton.com, complete a simple survey. It's about 20 questions. It's going to give you the exact system that you need to get your assets in order. You're also going to get a 25-point business checklist and an action plan so that you can get to implementing now. Not just now, but right now. Because again, somebody somewhere is waiting on you to do what you were purposed to do so that they can see that they can too. Someone is assigned your voice and you are assigned to them. I thank you for your time on today. I appreciate everything that you are doing to invest in yourself. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side of your goals and your dreams because you land at the top. Thank you again.
Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, okay. Get your assets in order. Get your mind right and get your assets in order, y'all. That's all I gotta say. Go ahead and give love, y'all. Do the reactions. Put it in the chat. Hearts, fireballs. If there's one thing that was like your biggest takeaway from that session, type that in the chat as well. After you give her all the love and the emojis and all that good stuff, because that's important. Come on, y'all. Let's show up and show out. It's enough of us here to make sure she feels loved. I want to make sure, yeah, I need my 40K back. I love that. That was one of my favorites. I absolutely love that. And it was so in alignment. That's what we've been talking about for the past, what, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days. Every speaker has really just been in alignment and just kind of continuing this conversation of our voice being needed, but making sure that we're doing it in a way that's intentional and strategic and smart and allowing us to get the most bang for our buck and having systems and processes. Y'all, it matters. It matters. So thank you for giving her love. That was phenomenal. I want to bring Martina back to screen with me. I don't know if she the one, she the one operating it anyway. So I know she can do it. She's gonna come back to the screen with me because where am I? Okay, good. I got a couple minutes. I'm going to take 2 minutes. And I just want to honor and celebrate Martina. Martina is our brand partner this year for SpeakerCon. And when I tell you I got on her nerve, no, she didn't tell me I got on her nerve, but I was getting on my own nerve because I was getting on her nerve. So I just want to stop and I want to acknowledge when people come into your space and they believe enough in what you do, where they're willing to partner with you and sponsor the services that they know you need, because she knows if I had been left to setting up the Zoom events all by myself, there would be no SpeakerCon right now because I'd still be trying to set it up on the back end. Tech ain't my thing, y'all. I mean, I dibble and dabble in little things, but not all the stuff. Everything that you have seen through this events platform, the setup, the backdrop, the colors, even our background that all the speakers have used, all of that is Martina. She did all of that. She is beast mode. She was the one when we had the first problem on the first day. She was on with Zoom, making phone calls in the background. She done beat me here pretty much every single day, making sure that she was the host already so I wouldn't be mistakenly be the host and then not know how to turn her back to the host. Like it's been a beautiful experience. Woo! But y'all don't see the
Indeed.
behind the scenes of what it takes. When I tell you she has been online, I don't think she slept. I really don't think she went to sleep for the past 4 days. And probably for the past 2 weeks before that, because she did all the tech checks with every speaker. We added more sessions even after to make sure that's how much she believes in the mission of SpeakerCon. That's how much I believe she believes in Dr. Cheryl. Because otherwise, who do that? Where they do that at? So I just want to publicly, I know sometimes we thank people privately, but I'm big on thanking people publicly. So I publicly want to say this out loud in front of everybody. You are a godsend for this conference. And for us to pull it off, you had to be our brand partner. Otherwise, it would not have been pulled off. So thank you, thank you, thank you for how well you serve, for your commitment, for dealing with some of my snippiness and those moments where I'm like, just get to the point, Martina, right? Because that's my style. It's like you got to get to the point. My husband will tell you. He'd be like, look, could you just let me finish what I'm saying? I'm like, well, you gonna lose me. You got to get to the point. My mind be like off somewhere else. So just for accepting, like, how many of you know all of us are flawed and imperfect? Yes or yes in the chat. We are all flawed and we're all imperfect. And sometimes we have great intentions, but sometimes you go back and be like, was my tone a little off in the way that I said it? And you don't intend it, but it happens because you're in the fire and you trying to fan the fire away and handle things. And you have handled that so well. You have handled and dealt with me so graciously. And it's not that I was nasty or ugly, but I know when I'm snippy because I'm
Yes.
stressed. And
Yes.
you never snipped back. You never, I mean, you just stayed calm, cool, and collected. And that's what you need when you have people who are helping you to execute something that's bigger than you. They gotta have a different temperament than you do. Everybody can't be all snippy and in an uproar. Only by one person can be that way. Everybody else I'd be like, ooh, Dr. Cheryl might need to get a couple hours of sleep there. So I just want to
Cheryl, I
thank
just
you.
want to say to you, thank you, because I did not realize how much you had entrusted in me with this conference
Mm,
until I really paid attention to your vision. And I thought back to some of the speaking events that I've spoken for you for, and now seeing behind the scenes, you really trusted me to be able to execute for you. And
yeah.
only because of him was I able to do it. And I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity. Truly, thank you for that.
Absolutely. I even said to Martina, I was like, I don't just be letting nobody run my stuff. That's why I work for myself because I want to be the boss. I want to be the one telling people what to do. You got to know yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. And I told her, I was
Indeed.
like, girl, I'm putting a lot in your hands. Like you already started it? Oh, you already started the session? Oh, you already emailed people? Oh. And then I realized I really needed her to do that. So we live and we learn, and when we're open to becoming better by sometimes turning things over to someone who is more qualified, then it really does serve us well. Babe, what? Could you do me a favor? Could you come and turn this blind up because the sun is blinding
Coming
me out
across your
here. Yeah,
face.
yeah. And I just keep seeing it because the sun just like, oh yeah, I'm here now. So thank you, thank you, thank you, y'all. Once again, please give love to Martina Britt Yelverton and for everything that she poured into us, not only in this session, to get up off your assets,
And get them in order.
get them in order, but also for being this year's SpeakerCon 2025 brand partner. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. All right, we are down to, that's perfect. We are getting down to the wire, y'all. We're coming down to the wire. And what I want to do, we're trying to get this lighting together over here. And I want to encourage you to make sure that you stick around for our 3:30 session. It is a conversation that you don't want to miss. It is our last external speaker. Oh, here she is. Speak about Leah. She's coming in now. I want you to make sure that you are here for this session that we're going to have. I'm going to the fireside chat with Leah Valencia Key. When I tell you this sister, we just connected, and you would think we have been sisters forever. And that's why the conversation is titled Sisterhood Illuminated, Finding Light Together. I cannot tell you how many messages we have left each other. We're not ready for her yet. Don't bring her up yet. She's not coming on until 3:30, but I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. But when I tell you she's going to bless your whole heart, your whole soul, your whole spirit, it is one of the best ways that we could conclude with our external speakers. Just a beautiful soul, spreading light and love, but also brilliant and strategic and intentional and talented and gifted and all the things. And I always teasingly say, I don't like a lot of people. I like people, but I like them when they kind of fall. But this sister, y'all, if y'all knew the number of messages we've been leaving each other, just loving on each other, you are going to be in love with her and this conversation just like I am. So we're gonna bring her on at 3:30. So just make sure you stick around. In the meantime, I think I'm going to try to share my screen here. Now, what do you guys see? Do you see, hold on, let me hit slide. Somebody's gonna have to verbally tell me in 1 minute. Oh no, you still see that. That's not what I want you to see. That's the ladies, right? That was the GSU photo that you guys saw.
No, we saw ABCD, but
Oh, you do? You do see that?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
just was not in slide share mode. You could see each slide over to the left.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, let me close this one. Don't save so that I can make sure I get the right one up on my end. It's so funny because I was seeing something different than what you were seeing, which is so interesting. Okay, we're gonna try it again. Let's give it one more shot here. Okay, now I think it's gonna come up. There we go. You see GPS?
Yeah.
And now we're in slide mode. Let's see, continue to share. All right, there we go. So for the next about maybe 20 minutes or maybe 30 minutes or so, I want to continue the conversation that we started about you being able to bring this thing that you have inside of you, this vision, to life. And we started our conversation about the vision GPS framework. The G we talked about was for goals, but I want to tap back into what we're really focused on when we talk about vision. We hear the word all the time, but do you really understand what it means? And do you have a vision that is clear, with intention, with strategy, with focus? So when we talk about a vision, this is a clear mental picture or idea of a desired future outcome. One of the quotes that I live by and I love is by Zig Ziglar, who says, in order to achieve something, you've got to see the reaching in your own mind before you ever achieve it. And that's really similar to what a vision is. So before Dr. Cheryl Wood became Dr. Cheryl Wood, I was Cheryl Wood, who was going to a corporate job as a legal secretary in a 10 by 10 cubicle every day. Now, I had a vision of something shifting and being different. I had a vision that one day I wouldn't have to run the corporate rat race, that I would be able to walk my kids up to school at the start of school and pick them up at the end of school versus having them in someone else's care 12 hours a day and somebody else raising my kids. I had a vision after I had my first speaking engagement on September 18th, 2010, that one day I was going to be the person who was up there on that stage as the keynote speaker, and that I would be tapping into people's minds and their hearts and their souls and reminding them of what's possible and illuminating something inside of them that maybe had gone dim or maybe had completely gone out. Maybe the light wasn't even there anymore. Maybe there wasn't even a spark. And I felt like in my mind, I could see that I was going to be the one who was going to light the spark again. Now, for the past couple of days, we've talked about how sometimes vision can feel scary because the vision can be so big that it scares you and it keeps you stuck. How many of you have ever had vision of something or something that was divinely downloaded into your spirit and you felt like, yeah, I want to do it, but just the massiveness of the vision made you question whether or not you were equipped or qualified to be the person who was going to execute the vision? Anybody other than me? Give me a me in the chat. I see a couple people. Dr. Emma says me. Michelle Satchel, me. Even Leah says yes. Is it so? It's just me, Leah, Dr. Emma and Michelle, just us. That's nobody else have ever had a vision that scared you and you thought it was so big, so massive. You were like, God, you sure you meant me? Like, I don't know about you. You sure you meant me? And we had that debate with God, and God like, wait a minute now. I got this. This ain't your business. It was my business to download it divinely into you. Now it's your business to trust. It's your business to surrender. It's your business to release and to align your steps with the vision that I've downloaded to you so that you can execute it. Thank you. I love it. Rita says yes, me, Pata, Pam, Dr. Donald, good to see you, Dr. Eric, Tanya, thank you. Thank you for your engagement. Because I need you to understand that you're not alone. That's why we ask for you to engage with us in the chat and say me and say yes, because sometimes people just need to understand that you are not alone. The vision itself is bigger than just a goal, because oftentimes it's the goals that get you closer to the vision. We have this big idea that we want to manifest, and it's those small intermittent steps and goals that you accomplish that get you closer there. Vision is a deeply held sense of purpose. It's direction that guides your decisions. It fuels your motivation. It keeps you focused even when the challenges start to arise. Hello. And we all know challenges will. It's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. The moment you make the decision that you are going to pursue this thing called vision, which is connected to your heart, your soul, your purpose, connected to how you leave your imprint in the world, connected to your essence of you that nobody else can leave that essence. No one else can duplicate. The moment you decide, what they say, all hell breaks loose. I think my friend Michelle Satchel says that in her speech. The moment you decide. Because now, how many of you know that like things that are forged through the fire, it's forged through the fire. It's not forged when it's easy, without challenge, without setbacks, without questioning if you're good enough, without getting 2 steps forward and sometimes falling back 5 steps. But understanding that your commitment to it doesn't change just because you fall flat or something fails or something disappoints you. The vision is like a compass. It shows you what direction to go. And how many of you know sometimes you can be walking and you're following the compass and all of a sudden the compass is going this way. And you're like, well, wait a minute. No, I said we want to go this way. And the compass is like, no. And that little hand is just going and it's trying to point you in the right direction. That is what happens with your divine vision. In actuality, God is the compass. But what happens? What happens is we get all up in God's business. And we're like, okay, well, you downloaded to me. Oh, I got this. I'm ready. We do this, y'all. You don't even understand what's about to happen, right? We get all into that. And we forget who's really leading the way. And when he says, no, go this way, daughter, or go this way, son, but you're still holding on to what you want, that's when we have challenges and problems executing the vision to its fullest and crossing the finish line. And I want to share 4 things that I typically will share in certain speeches about vision. The 4 things are, number 1, when you're going to manifest vision, you've always got to put something in. Please put this in your notes. You always got to put something in. You got to put in time. You got to put in energy. You got to put in effort. You got to put in investments, meaning your money. Hello. Ain't nobody coming and giving it to you for free. It just doesn't work that way, guys. Because if you don't want it bad enough to invest in it, why would anybody else want it for you bad enough to give it to you? First of all, as humans, we don't typically respect or appreciate or value something that's free. We don't value it the same. We don't even put the same level of value. I'll never forget hearing a speaker share a story that really just solidified this idea of not giving for free because people don't place a value on it. He said, my family and I, we'd always wanted to take our kids, and I think they had 3 or 4 kids. We always wanted to take our kids to Disney World, and they were young kids. And I don't know how many of y'all have ever been to Disney World, but do you know the price of tickets? Anybody, let me know in the chat if you understand the realness of taking a family of 5 or 6 to Disney World. I've been, and I've taken my kids, and we always do this little fast pass and all the stuff because my kids, they back bougie. Y'all don't have no money. Like, my money ain't your money. But they want to be in VIP in the front of the line. They don't want to wait. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. So the gentleman shared that He always wanted to take his kids and his wife, and they wanted to go to Disney, and someone gave them tickets. He was speaking for a company, a conference or something, and they gifted them tickets. And it was like a 4-day pass tickets. And it was the top tier tickets that got them in the fast pass, which means it gets you to the front of every line. You don't stand in the 2-hour line that everybody else waits in. And it got them lunch. And it was literally, again, the creme de la creme. It was the VIP elite experience. And he said, the first day we woke up and, we were a little tired. So we kind of dragged our feet. And finally we decided, let's get up, let's get dressed, let's get the kids ready, and let's go on over to Disney. And we probably got there about noon or so. And then we had a little fun. We had a good time, whatever. And then we were just like, well, the kids are acting up. Let's just go on home. Let's leave. The park doesn't close till 10, but we left probably, maybe about 4. So we got about 4 hours there. And then they said, okay, well, we'll try again the next day. And then that day came, and they actually decided they wanted to sleep in late and just let the kids hang out at the pool at the hotel that they were at. So they didn't even make it the second day. And then the third day, and it literally went on that way for all 4 days. But tell me in the chat, if they had paid for those tickets, if they had invested that $1,500 or $1,600 per person times a family of 6, would they have not been at that gate at 7:30 a.m., an hour before it opens? Would they have not stayed there the whole day and not left until that closing parade and not left until 10 when the park closed? Yeah. They wouldn't have slept in late. They would have been up. They would have prepared the day before. They would have been there before the doors opened. They would have stayed there all day because there would have been a value on it because they spent their hard-earned dollars to get access to it. That's what happens when you don't put value on your vision. You start giving it away to everybody for free. You stop putting a true value on it. But remember, we talked about this over the past few days. You are made in the likeness of him. And if he is a God of abundance, that means you have a right to be. You have permission to be an individual of abundance, a man or woman of abundance, not scarcity. And sometimes we just have to pause and we have to remind ourselves of that. Because sometimes we see things that are going on in the world and we try to dictate what's going to happen for us based on what's happening in the world landscape. You got somebody else bigger than that. You got a higher being that has control over what happens with you. And you have the right, and you have the ability, and you have the resources to create your own economy. But how bad do you really want to execute the vision is the question. How much are you willing to let him be the compass, not you being the compass? The vision matters. I didn't get time to put this into my official polls because, guys, things have been moving and shaking. But I wanted to put this question here because I think it's important, especially as we're having people who are calling in and talking to my support team and you're considering becoming a part of one of our programs. I mean, we have a lot of interest. And I first want to pause and celebrate all of you who are being courageous enough to pause. And even if it feels scary, you're calling and you're having the conversation anyway. That speaks volumes. It should say to you, it says to me, but it should certainly say to you, this is your time. If you took the time to send a message, to pick up the phone, to send a text, to send an email, it says this is your time. And there's a pulling that's happening. And that's what happens when something is really destined for you. I know because I tried to convince myself when I had the pulling on my spirit that I was supposed to be speaking. I had the pulling, but I didn't want to leave my job. I didn't want to walk away. Oh, y'all, let me share. I didn't want to walk away from. I was holding on to a job that was paying me $75,000 a year when God was trying to open the door to usher me into $75,000 months. Hold on, I got to walk off the stage for a minute. Hold on. Whew. Are you hearing me? You're standing in the way of your own blessings. You're standing in the way of God being the compass. He's trying to shift you in the right way. He's trying to shift you in the direction that's going to get you to the ultimate blessing that you keep saying you want. You keep praying for it. But are you really working in agreement with it? Because sometimes we'll pray for a thing, we'll vision board about a thing, we'll journal about a thing, we'll talk to our friends about the thing that we so desire. It is literally in our heart's desire. And then God puts it in front of us. He puts the opportunity in front of us, the right opportunity that is in alignment. Sometimes God will put us right in front of it. And we will excuse ourselves out of it. Oh, this is not really a good time. This is not the right season. He will put the right person in front of you that is in alignment with you. You've got to ask yourself, why am I still excusing myself out of saying yes? Can I come close again? It's never going to be free. It's never going to be easy. It's never going to be convenient, and it's never going to be quick. So what are you waiting for? Because there will never be a perfect time, a perfect circumstance, perfect environment, but there will be the person that you have been assigned to. And God will make sure he aligns you in their path, but you've got to open eyes and you've got to have an open heart to receive and say, God, I prayed for it. Now I'm willing to work for it. Don't ever forget that. So I want you to answer this question that's on the screen. What is the primary obstacle that often stirs you off course when you're pursuing your vision? Is it self-doubt or imposter syndrome? Is it procrastination? Is it lack of time or resources? Is it no clear plan? Maybe it's fear just keeping you stuck. I want you to identify which one it is, and I want you to put that in the chat. Whatever letter, you got A through I. Now, I don't want to see a whole lot of others unless you're going to tell me the explanation of the other. Is it fear? Is it unexpected roadblocks or setbacks? Is it perfection paralysis? Is it because everything's not aligned perfectly? Is it lack of mentors or network for guidance or accountability? Now, for some of you, you can't use some of these as an excuse because you have been placed in this space of SpeakerCon for you to get access to the mentorship you need, the accountability that you need, the coaching that you need, the resources that you need. Like, we are a hub of resources here. And I go back to day one when many of you said the thing that you wanted in your heart of hearts, the thing that you desired was to be visible. That tells me you want to be seen. Do we not all want to be seen? We want to know that our fingerprint matters. We wanted to make that deep imprint and deep impression that even when we have left the room, even after the 40-minute speech, even after the conversation with the prospect, they have your message permeating all throughout them. So what's the one that typically steers you off track? Looks like we have a host of, we got some A's and so self-doubt, lack of time or resources. We got a few procrastination, okay? Somebody said CNF, a couple people put 3 or 4 of them in there. Procrastination is a big one. Unexpected roadblocks, okay? No clear plan. Okay, thank you for sharing and thank you for your honesty and your transparency. And that's a starting point. It's calling out the thing that's keeping you stuck. But now here's the thing I need you to really hear me. I need you to hear this loud and clear. Just because you identify what it is and you've called it out now does not mean you get to take up residency there. Whew. It doesn't mean you get to live there just because, well, I said, yeah, I admitted what it was. I don't have a clear plan. Oh, I'm a procrastinator. That's why I'm a procrastinator. That's just who I am. No, you don't get to excuse yourself out of it just because you called the thing a thing. That was your starting point. That was an acknowledgement for you. But now the follow-up question becomes, so what you going to do about it? What are you going to do to move beyond the procrastination? What are you going to do to move beyond not having the clear plan? What are you going to do to move beyond the lack of time or resources? What are you going to do to move beyond the unexpected roadblock or setback? Because it will never be in perfect alignment. I was terrified to walk away from my full-time job. Can we have another moment for direct deposit? Whew, in that bank account every 2 weeks. You can be a good employee, bad employee, it doesn't matter. It's going to be there in the bank account. And it was that feeling that I thought of safety. Oh, this is my safe space that I didn't want to release. I didn't want to let go. I didn't want to surrender. So yeah, I stayed stuck for a really, really long time until I decided that I was going to let God be the compass, that he knew more than me, that if he downloaded it, If he gave me the vision, as we often hear, that he will give me the provision. That doesn't mean that he's going to give it to you that's going to be easy. It doesn't mean that. I don't know how many of you know the biblical story of Job. Sometimes you're going to lose some stuff. Sometimes you're going to lose some things that feel very important to you. But you got to ask yourself, what am I willing to put in? That was my number one. You got to put something in. Time, energy, effort, money, consistency. What are you willing to put into the vision? So that it's not just some daydream. Can y'all put that in your notes? Somewhere in your notes. When I don't execute my vision, it was really just a daydream. You too old for daydreaming. Or you too young for daydreaming. You're too significant for daydreaming. Daydreaming is for people who have no intention of doing anything about it. Your vision, it deserves to be manifested. Here are some of the obstacles that threaten that. We already talked about what might be your obstacle, what maybe some of these are a part of it. Call the thing out. But then let's start working on how do we press through that obstacle, that thing that is threatening who I'm meant to be. You got to view it as a threat. And if you really view something as a threat, what's the first thing that you do? Well, I would believe most of us go into defensive mode. Okay, look, I got to defend myself. If something is threatening you physically, if something is threatening you emotionally, if something is threatening you spiritually, you go into defense mode. Okay, wait a minute, I gotta block these obstacles. This thing is a threat to me. Well, guess what? You got to have that same mindset as it relates to the thing that's threatening your vision. You got to have this obstinate resistance to it, a stubbornness that says, no, you will not stand in my way. You will not stop me from getting to the finish line. This is what I'm born to do. This is what I'm meant to do. This is how I'm meant to impact lives. This is how I'm meant to transform people. This is how I'm meant to let my light shine in the world and make my imprint. And nothing and no one will stop me, not even me. Whew. I'm going to say that again. Nothing and no one will stop me, not even me, because we can be our own worst critics. We already talked about cognitive psychology. We've already talked about neuroscience. We've already talked about the 50 to 70,000 thoughts you have every day and how most of them are defaulted to negative, but you have a choice. It's a decision that I'm going to rewire, that I'm going to hack it and rewire my own thinking. Les Brown says it best. It is not garbage in, garbage out. It's garbage in, garbage stays in. So you cannot give yourself permission to keep the garbage in. You know, it's almost like saying, you know what, I'm thirsty right now. You know, right? I've been talking for 4 days, y'all. I've been talking for 4 days. I'm a little thirsty. So I'm gonna drink this water right here. Right now, I don't know if y'all can see the water because I know I have the screen up, but I'm gonna drink a little bit of water. And imagine somebody came and they gave me, and was like, oh, Dr. Wood, you look thirsty. Here's a bottle of water. And I said, oh, great. Oh my God, I'm parched. And they say, okay, now wait, now I just gotta tell you one thing before you drink the water, there's a little bit of poison in it. Okay, wait, okay, what? And it's like 2 drops. It's just 2 drops. But that was the only bottle that we had, and that was the one that had the poison in it. But it's just 2 drops. Here. Am I drinking that bottle of water? Somebody tell me in the chat. Am I drinking the bottle that only has 2 drops of poison in it? It don't have 4. It don't have 6. It doesn't have 10 drops. It only has 2 drops of poison. Am I going to chance it? Am I going to drink this bottle of water? Am I going to say, heck no, get this out of here? Because it only takes a little bit of poison to kill your dream. Whew. Hold on. Let me get a sip of this. They not ready. I think y'all tired. I think y'all sleepy. I think y'all have had too much over 4 days. It only takes a little bit of poison. It only takes a drop of poison to destroy your dream, to kill everything that you have been thinking about, dreaming about, journaling about, praying about. You in the prayer closet 5 times a day, praying for this life of abundance, this life of prosperity. And I mean, when I say prosperity, this life where you get to pour all of you out into others, where your life is so much bigger than you. Where at the end of your day, when that date comes, the transition date, the dash between your date of birth and your date of death, guess what? You will know that people are still remembering how you made them feel, remembering what you made them feel they could accomplish. They are still reveling in the essence of you because of how you showed up. And I don't think any of us want to leave this place without having that solidified. If tomorrow were your last day, would you be okay with what you've done? Or would you regret what you haven't done? Would you regret the risk that you didn't take? Would you regret the investment that you didn't make? Would you regret the relationships that you didn't nurture? What would you regret if you knew tomorrow you would no longer be here? I share the story often of losing both my father and losing my 20-year-old nephew, and how devastating that was. And when I lost my dad at 59 years old from a massive heart attack in his sleep, all I could think about was the truth that you get one time, you get one life, and you have a right to make it as amazing as you possibly can, but it is a choice. You have a right. As George Fraser often says, he's like, you know what? Either way, it's hard. And you got to choose your hard. Do you choose the hard of staying stuck in something that doesn't nurture your spirit? It doesn't make you feel alive. It doesn't allow you to leave your imprint. It doesn't allow you to create legacy. That's hard. You're going and you're building somebody else's dream at a job that you hate. The traffic is crazy. The timing is crazy. You hate going. You don't like the people. You don't like to go. They don't like to see you coming. That's hard to live, being in a life of an existence. That's hard. And then you have the hard over here. It's hard to say, I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to go for it. I'm terrified, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to feel the fear. I'm going to proceed anyway. That's hard. I'm going to make the investment even though it's scary. Oh, I'm not sure. Is this the right decision? Oh, am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? Well, is it going to align the way it's supposed to? That's hard too. So choose your hard. Choose your hard. Which one? The hard that keeps you stuck in misery in an existence, or choose your hard that's going to at least, hopefully on the other side, if you do the work, it's going to produce something that's going to make you feel alive. I want to feel alive. That's what started this journey. I wanted to feel alive. I wanted to wake up and actually look out the window and be able to appreciate nature instead of rushing through and not even realizing, was it day? Was it night? Is it morning? Is it afternoon? Because I don't even know, because I'm not even present. I'm not even aware. I'm just literally in limbo going through life. I didn't want to live that. I didn't want to be in an existence. I wanted to be able to go outside and open the door and look at the fall leaves falling from the trees and breathe it in and take a deep breath and say, thank you, God, what beauty. To look up at the clouds, what beauty. And to be grateful that I have another day that I get to leave my imprint and another day that I get to live and breathe and touch somebody else's life. That's what I wanted. And now I'm in that reality. But I'm only in the reality because I took the risk. I played big even when I was terrified. I made investments that terrified me. I built connections that scared me. Some of them I didn't think I was good enough. I wasn't sure if they were going to value me or see any value in me. But guess what? Nobody sees value in you before you see value in you. And so I had to do some work on me. I had to build my confidence. I had to get my positioning. I had to get my grounding so that, what did I say the other day? I could give God something to work with. Standing in a position of power. So in these next 15 minutes or so before we bring on my special sister guest, I want to at least start this conversation, and I'll finish this out before we conclude today. But I want to start the conversation around this idea of setting your vision. And the first thing, and we've talked a little bit about this already, is decisiveness. Committing to what you truly want. The second step is clarity. It's being crystal clear, defining very specific, measurable goals that will allow you to get there to the thing that you want. The third thing is flexibility. adapting to things that are going to happen. Yes, they're going to be unexpected things that you did not see coming, and it's going to feel like you just got gut punched for no reason. And it's going to knock you down, but are you willing to be flexible and to get back up and adapt without losing focus? Number 4, it's going to require visualization. Seeing your success before it happens. There's this quote that says you got to see it before you see it. Number 5, it's going to require prioritization, focusing on what truly matters. Some of us get into the frame and the mode of busy work. You're busy, you're not productive. Some of you are busy going everywhere to everybody's everything. You're showing up because you want to say you support people, and you're showing face and you're smiling, and you are going home empty-handed. Some of you are going to the things and you're signing up for everybody's everything, and you still coming back empty-handed. And then you feel depleted. We got to prioritize. What is my next best step? What is the next step that my heart is craving? And I know, because I trust myself and I trust my intuition, I know that this is the step that has been ordained for me. See, that's bigger than you. That's higher than just flesh and blood, making some choice. No, is this ordained? Is this in alignment with where my compass is pointing me? And you know it, especially the ladies on the line. Like we trust our intuition. We know that gut tells you. So prioritization. Number 6, time management, allocating your time effectively. Yes, you get 24 in a day, just like I get 24 in a day. And I still say to this day, I run circles around most people, except for maybe my sister that's coming up, Leah. Because that sister right there, she always in the car, the truck, somebody's trade show, something. But that's because we are in alignment. We are literally cut from the same cloth. We understand the value of our time, and we understand that we don't get that back again. And once it's gone, it's gone. So that's why. What's the thing? What's the thing Dr. Cheryl don't play about? Type it in the chat, please. What's the thing Dr. Cheryl don't play about? Somebody tell me in the chat. I need a bunch of people to tell me in the chat. It's like 37, 38 people here. Type it in the chat. Dr. Cheryl don't play about one thing. Hello? I don't play about my time. I don't give myself permission, and I sure as heck don't give anybody who has a small mind and no vision to leverage it in a way that's best for them and not for me. I don't waste it, and you don't get to waste my time. Yes, I'm protective of my time. I'm OCD about my time. Yeah. And last, number 7, resilience, developing the strength to get back up. All these are required. They're a requirement for vision setting and vision execution. So when we talk about decisiveness, one of the things that will allow us to be more decisive is reducing our mental clutter by giving one single point of focus our attention. Are you all over the place? Are you trying to do 10 different things at one time? I don't know why sometimes we feel like, well, if I'm doing 10 things, it makes me look better. It really makes me look productive. No, it doesn't. It makes you look confused. Sometimes it's the focus, the laser focus on the one thing that allows you to give the one thing laser attention. Decisiveness builds confidence because now you know that you've actually chosen a path of consistent action. You've chosen a path that you're going to focus on so that you can get to an ultimate destination. You guys heard me say this on Wednesday. At some point, you got to divorce Ing and marry Ed. And some of y'all are just hanging out and you married to Ing, but ain't nothing in that marriage no more. And you just don't want to get the divorce. What's Ing and who's Ed? Ing is I'm planning, I'm thinking, I'm brainstorming, I'm contemplating, I'm overthinking, I'm creating. Everything got an ing, which means you ain't executed nothing. You ain't done nothing. You still stuck in the same place. That's what ing means. Okay, I need to sign the divorce papers between me and ing. This is over. This relationship is null and void. Now I'm going over here and I'm going to marry Ed. Ed is my ED. I planned. I added an ED to something. I executed. I brainstormed. I created. I contemplated. You got to add an ED to something. Folks, you got to finish something. Don't just get all hyped up about something and you're like, yeah. And then You're like a balloon that becomes deflated in a matter of 60 seconds, like somebody punched a little tiny hole in it and all of the air just comes out of that balloon. You deflate yourself because now you realize you gotta get up and you gotta show up and you gotta do the work. Yeah. Les Brown hasn't done the work for Dr. Cheryl. Lisa Nichols didn't do the work for Dr. Cheryl. None of my mentors, Eric Thomas didn't do the work for Dr. Cheryl. Tony Robbins didn't do the work for Dr. Cheryl. I can go down the list. Mickey Taylor didn't do the Gloria Mayfield, Banks, Trent Shelton. I can keep going down the list. Susie Carter didn't do the work for Cheryl. No organization did the work for Cheryl. I made me a priority. I made my vision a priority because I will not take the best parts of me to the grave. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with that quote that says the richest place in the world is the graveyard. It's right down the street. It is not the oil fields of Iraq or Iran. It is not the diamond mines of South Africa. It is not the banks of the world. It is the place that's right down the street from you. It is the cemetery, because that's the place where people take all their ambition, their ideas, their dreams, their vision, because they never executed it. All the masterpieces that were meant to be painted and created. All of the books that were meant to be written and were never written. All of the stories that were meant to be shared so that somebody else could be released from the pain they were stuck in, that were not shared. It's right down the street. And so I dare you to be decisive enough to say yes to your vision. Don't ignore it anymore. Don't hide anymore. Don't peek your head out every once in a while, because what I know is vision, and what's inside of you, what's been put inside of you that's trying to be birthed, it will never leave you alone. You can run, but you can never hide. How many of you have ever had something you wanted to do? You wanted to write a book, you wanted to speak on stage, you wanted to get in a program, you wanted to do whatever the thing was. You wanted to launch the business, and you just kept putting it off, and you kept doing what we did yesterday. Let me show you. For those of you who weren't here, this is what you're doing. Hold on. Can y'all see me? Yeah. There you go. Can y'all see me over here? This what you're doing. Oh, okay. No, let me go back and hide. I ain't ready to come out. I don't want to come out. But let me look. What's anything good? Oh, I don't want to come out. That's what you're doing. Staying in the background, staying and hiding. And guess what? It doesn't matter how far you try to run, how fast you try to run, or how hard you try to hide. What matters is the thing is still going to keep tapping you in the shoulder, because as soon as you come out from behind there, from out of hiding, guess what? Vision and purpose, it's still there. Hey, just wanted to remind you I'm still here. It will not leave you alone. It will bother you in your sleep. It will wake you up at night. It will wake you up in the morning, and you will keep thinking about it. And what happens is there will be a level of discomfort within you, because you know there's something divine that has been called for you to do, and you keep ignoring it. And that is not how I will live my life. So with decisiveness, I need you to reflect deeply on your own values and priorities before you set a goal. The goals get you closer to the vision. And then I want you to write it down, and I want you to speak it out loud, because writing and speaking are two different things. When you speak a thing out loud, it is solidifying that this is my decision. Not just writing it down, because I can write on a piece of paper right now. I can ball that piece of paper up and throw it out. But once I say that, once I say it out loud, like literally, God hears you. First of all, he hears it before. He hears it when it's in the heart. But when you say it out loud, he hears it and you hear it. And now you can't run from that. It'll keep tapping you on the shoulder. Declare it, share it. Avoid overthinking alternatives once you've committed to it. Number 2, clarity. It provides you focus. It allows you to allocate your time, your energy, your resources in a way that's effective and productive. It helps you, for all those people who said procrastination, it helps you prevent procrastination, because now you know exactly what needs to be done. But you cannot have a list of what needs to be done. You don't have a roadmap or a blueprint if you don't have clarity. And many of you, you're struggling with your speaking because you don't have clarity. You're not crystal clear about what your big idea or your big message is to the world. If you remember, Alan Ong said, Think about it in this way. If I only had 7 minutes to share a big message with the entire world, what would I be saying on that microphone or that megaphone? If I only had 7 minutes of a message, and I could only share one key message, with one primary point that I wanted to share with the world, I felt like the world needed to hear this, what would it be? And that helps you to start narrowing things down so that you get clear. You have some clarity. Now the plan can follow clarity. And then whatever the goals are that help you come into alignment and get closer to the vision, make those goals measurable so you can track the progress. We've talked about that over the past 4 days. And quantifying. For me, it was important that I shared my voice, not only verbally, which I love to do. That's my favorite thing to do. But I understand that some people, they prefer to read my story. They prefer to read my strategies. And so I must write books. And that's why I've published 28 books. 28. But it wasn't until recently that as I was getting clarity on my next step, on my next season, because I've done the 15. Now I'm working on the next 15. What's going to change? What's going to be different? What is important to me now? Because sometimes what you wanted 15 years ago in that part of the journey is different than what you want now. And that's okay too. And for me, one of the pieces of my vision is I will only work with the people that feel a sense of urgency about working with me. We're going to stop chasing people who ain't chasing us. And we certainly are not going to just chase dollars. No, you've got to want this because I can't want it more for you than you want it for you. And let me tell you, Dr. Cheryl brings it. You heard all the people who have come on and talked about the experience with me and how I serve and how I support and how I overgive and I over deliver. I mean, literally, I will tell my clients, don't make me come find you because in the initial client thing, you put your address. Now I'm being facetious, but I care that much about the people that I'm called to serve. If I don't see you showing up, I'm checking in. Hey, I noticed you weren't on tonight's call. Yeah, I'm paying attention. You're more than a number to me. You're more than another swipe of the credit card. I can make money anywhere. I can make money. Do you know how much money is out here with 8.2 billion people on the planet? So if I'm going to work with you and I'm going to have God say, daughter, great job well done, then I've got to make sure that I'm in alignment and they're in alignment and I'm not chasing folks that don't want to be chased and they ain't chasing me back. So in this next 15, it's all about divine connection and divine alignment. And the people who are they're just as serious as I was. I believe that our target audience, the people that we're called to serve, are the people who are the previous version of ourselves. Let me say that again, because somebody needs to hear that again and need to write it down. Your client, the people that you are called to serve, it is the previous version of you. Well, the previous version of Dr. Cheryl Wood wasn't Dr. Cheryl Wood. It was Cheryl Wood, who was going to a job every day that depleted her, that didn't value her, that capped her salary at $75,000 because I didn't have letters behind my name that said I was good enough and smart enough and worthy enough. It was a Cheryl Wood who sat in that cubicle and I didn't know if it was day or night because there was no window for me to look out in my cubicle. It was the Cheryl Wood who gave the best parts of her to the job that didn't nurture her, that didn't value her, appreciate her. But then I brought the worst parts of me home to the people I said I loved the most. And I had to make a decision. So what is the decision that you are willing to make? And what's the clarity that you need to be able to move forward? What are the small intermittent goals with clear action steps? I'm going to do this so that it can lead me to this. And then I'm going to do this and it'll get me closer to this. And everything should literally be following the step-by-step process so that you are laser focused on the thing that you want to execute. I knew back in 2010, when I had my first speaking engagement, I knew I wasn't going to become a speaker overnight. I didn't know nobody. Nobody knew me. I didn't have a name in the market. I didn't have any big name connections. I didn't have any famous people on Rolodex to say, hey, get me in. And I certainly didn't have a lot of money to invest in huge programs. But I asked myself, well, what can you invest in? What can you do? And I think I shared this the other day. One of my first investments was a coach. And ironically enough, the coach that I really wanted was Lisa Nichols, even back then. I followed her work. once after I started speaking and I really started getting in and my footing in, I was like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. I started following, I watched her videos, all the things. But when I found out what the price was, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Y'all know the Martin, right? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I can't do it. Did you just say 60 grand? Whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, oh, that ain't happening. But I asked myself for clarity, how close can you get to her? Can you get in proximity? Because I understand that anybody in her proximity, they have probably been infected with that same energy and passion and drive and commitment as she has. Because you don't stay in a place in proximity that close to someone and you're not infected with that energy. That's automatic, that's instant. And so sure enough, there was a young lady who was kind of her right-hand person at the time, and they did everything together and traveled everywhere together. And I was like, well, let me call her and see what she charged. Now, I'm not encouraging this, right? But at the time I was price shopping. I was like, dang, I was so disappointed that I couldn't afford Lisa. But then I had to reframe and I was like, okay, we coming. I already knew I was coming. Oh, I'm coming to you. When I set my mind to something, I don't know about y'all. When I set my mind to something, what they say when a woman, like when her mind is made up, ain't nothing you can do about it. That was me. That still is me. So I contacted the young lady who was like her right-hand person, and because I saw her at a conference and I got her information and I was like, I'm interested in this, and I feel like I really want to be a speaker. And I was still brand new, y'all, brand new. I think I was like a year in, and I didn't come from a background of coaching. I grew up in an inner city housing project. I grew up in Lafayette Project. I'm like, coaching? What's that? I didn't come from a world of personal development and professional development. I came from a world of survival. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like survival. And here I was putting myself in a position where I was disrupting everything I had ever seen, everything I had ever experienced, everything I had ever known. Nobody in my family was invested in coaching. We were trying to pay the bills and keep the lights on. Survival mode. Survival, not thriving in anything. And so I called her and we had the conversation, and she said to me that it was going to cost me $6,000 to have 6 sessions with her. I think the sessions were like 45 minutes each. And they were virtual. They weren't even virtual because we weren't doing Zoom. They were by phone. I didn't even get to look at her and look at her eyes and see her. It was by phone. And you know what I did when she told me that? 6 45-minute, 40-minute sessions for $6,000. I was like, oh, okay, all right, okay. And I hung up the phone. And when I got off the phone, you know what I did? I did the black girl head moan. I was like, she must be crazy. Who she thinks she is? I'm $6,000. Like I just got $6,000 laying around. Chick, I'm from the projects. I ain't got no money in the bank. I'm trying to get to next paycheck, and that check already spent. I'm just telling you my truth. And I'm never going to run in shame and hide from my truth, because my truth and my start did not dictate my destiny and my finish line. And here's what happened. This was the switch that turned on. The more I kind of like twisted my head, my black girl movement, the more I realized, but she has your answer. I can remember that like it was yesterday, because I was still working my full-time job as a legal secretary. And I just kept coming back to me over and over again. But she has the answers that you need, because she's already living the life you want to live. You know how profound that is? To see somebody, to be in close proximity to somebody who is already living the reality that you want to create, and you won't even take a risk on you. You won't even place a bet on you, because you too busy telling yourself what you can't do instead of telling yourself, let me figure out a way to do it. And then I decided, I said, okay, I don't have $6,000 just sitting in the bank. I don't have access to it. Nobody that I'm connected to is rich. They ain't got no money sitting in the bank. And I thought that was rich at the time. Because you got to remember where I came from. I came from an environment where I was on government assistance with my mama, where when I left out in the morning, I saw her soaking beans. I used to have an attitude because I didn't want beans again. But she would make those doggone biscuits. The biscuits would make it worth it. And I didn't want to eat those damn salmon cakes. And I didn't want to eat those potato cakes and the stuff that my mother had to scrape together so that we wouldn't be hungry. I don't want to stay in that existence. And your existence doesn't have to mimic mine. It might not be an existence of poverty, but it's an existence where something's missing. Something that your heart desires is missing. I don't want you to stay in a space where there's a void. I want you to give yourself permission to move forward. And literally, I rethanked the whole thing. And I said, well, at a minimum, what I can do is if she'll let me make payments. And I was so nervous because at the time, she was really considered big time. Maybe not Lisa Nichols status, but if you're a right-hand person traveling with Lisa Nichols, then you, in my mind, you real close to Lisa Nichols status. And she was a brilliant mind. She is a brilliant mind. I haven't seen her in a long time, but she's a brilliant mind. And so I was terrified. But again, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And so I asked her the question. I sent her an email. I really do want this. I wanted it more than she wanted it for me. And I was willing to do whatever I had to do. So anyway, I asked her, can I make payments? Would you be willing to let me make like 6 payments? Because I know I can make that work. I can do 6 payments of $1,000 each, which, is more than that because they add on they add on the fee or whatever. And that's understandable. That's just how it works. And she said yes. So I think I had like 6 payments of $1,200. Y'all, let me tell you something. I start taking bologna and cheese sandwiches to work instead of spending $30 in downtown DC for lunch. I stopped. I told people I can't go to lunch with y'all no more. Nope. I was spending $25, $30. And then before I spent the $25, $30 on lunch, I was stopping at Starbucks every day because Starbucks was in the building where I worked of the law firm. That was the first thing you came into. And then you had to go into the office building and go up to the elevator. And I was spending $8, $7, $8 on Starbucks every day. And I stopped. Because that's how bad I wanted it. I said, if I take this $30 a day I'm spending on lunch and the $8 I'm spending a day, and I started calculating and creating a plan. I started getting clear on what are my steps to be able to afford this, because I don't want to say what I can't afford. No, I can't not afford to do this if I'm going to ever become the future version that I desire to be. And y'all, I paid my first $1,000 for the payment, so I give my first session. And I made sure my second payment was paid before that second session was scheduled. And I got coached. And guess where I did the coaching? Because here was the other thing. The coach didn't bend to me. She didn't bend to fit my schedule. I had to shift and bend to fit her schedule. This is when I do coaching. I do coaching between this time and this time. Y'all, it was in the middle of the flipping day. I worked a full-time job. How am I going to do that? You know how I did it? I used my lunch break every day. Every time I had a session with her, a coaching session, I would use my lunch break. I would look at the roster of my attorneys that were in my department, and I would see who wasn't in today. And I would go into that office and I would close the door and I would lock it. And that's where I would do my coaching sessions. Trying to be quiet, but still be present and take notes and learn and grow and put myself on the path that I truly desired. How bad do you want it? Is the vision really that vivid in your mind that you can see it before you see it? And because you can see it before you see it, you are aligning your thoughts, your words, your actions, your attitudes, your behaviors, your patterns in alignment with who you see yourself becoming. Do you have clarity on who you're becoming? I'm going to stop there because I'll come back and we'll have more conversation about that throughout today, since this is our final day. But I want to honor the time of my sister who's here, Leah Valencia Key, such a bright light. I'm going to have my team to pull her up and bring her next to me here on the screen in just a moment, whenever you're ready to do that. And I'm going to, I'm torn between reading, her bio kind of officially versus just giving my own. And I think I'll do both because, I believe when we work to accomplish things that we should be acknowledged and we should be celebrated for what we've worked hard for. And she certainly does deserve the acknowledgement. Is my team on that to pull her up next to me? Leah Key. There's my beautiful sister. So let me tell you about her really quickly, and then we'll jump into our conversation. Whew. Leah Valencia Key was raised in very humble beginnings in an impoverished neighborhood of Philadelphia. She lived in a homeless shelter with her mother, her sister, and her brother. Even in dark times, her mom would tell her, "Your predicament does not determine your destiny. Can't you hear those words? Like I can literally visually see that happening. She encouraged Leah to never leave the house without wearing her sparkling earrings because they would serve as reminders of the light within. Leah went on to rise above her challenges and by radiating light, obtaining a bachelor's degree in business, a master's degree in education, a cosmetology instructor's license, becoming a global hair and makeup artist, and creating Valencia Key Jewelry, which launched on QVC and was featured in Oprah's magazine, the 2020 Favorite Things issue. This is wearable joy that symbolizes that all things are possible. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. Each piece was created to inspire and unlock the bravery and light within. Jamie Kern Lima, that many of you I'm sure are familiar with, founder of It Cosmetics, I don't know if it's IT or It Cosmetics, brought Leah to appear on the Mel Robbins show and speak on the stage to over 200,000 attendees with Brendan Burchard, Ed Milet, Dean Graciasi, Tony Robbins, and Jamie Kern Lima's Becoming Unstoppable Believe It book tour. Leah reaches back now to where she comes from, donating and educating women in homeless shelters about the keys to light and how to rise out of rough environments. She is a living example that all things are possible by rooting yourself in the power of choosing joy and radiating light. And I've talked her up and talked about her since Wednesday, since we've been here, but my connection to her, as I'm over here having a menopausal hot flash, is that we met at an event a few weeks ago, the Audacious Women Summit, hosted by Erica Rothenberger. Leah was a speaker, I was a speaker, but she also had her table there with her beautiful jewelry, and the line was wrapped around the room. And I noticed that her helpers who were there in the morning, I'm like, girl, she got this line, she was here all night. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, girl, you need some help. And even I, for a bit, hesitated because I didn't know her. So I didn't know if she was going to be like, crazy woman, get on away from here. But she was like, no, I'm good. You know how we do. No. And I looked at her again and gave her the sister look. I was like, you sure? And then she still was like, oh, yeah. I was like, girl, I'm good. I will sell your stuff. Okay. And package it up. I'm good. I'm productive. I'm honest. I'm all of that. You need me. I come on back behind this table. And there was where this friendship was nurtured and born. So welcome, my sister.
It is an honor. Hi. I love you. You look so beautiful. And I just feel your beautiful heart. Thank you, everyone, for receiving me here. That story ends with the beginning of a beautiful friendship, but Dr. Wood didn't just help me with the line. She packed everything up with me. She recruited people to put the bags in my car and made sure that I left whole. And that's what light is. And that's what love is. That's when you're on your quest to being all that God has for you. You can reach back and make sure others are on their quest and supported, because you know you're going somewhere great. So let me help you go where I know you can go. And so that's just a living embodiment of the beautiful soul that you are and how what light shows up. I'm just honored to be here. Oh, I was so joyful to listen. Ooh, you were dropping so many nuggets though. I don't even know where to start. One thing I want to say is my grandma used to tell me the truth is the light. And so you were talking about truth and finding your truth. And when you're looking for light, get back inside and hear God's divine whisper, because that's where truth is. And then that's how you're able to shine to your destiny.
I love it. Y'all see how that energy, y'all, it's like that all the time. Every voice note, every voice message, video message, we screaming, she's screaming, I'm screaming back, she's leaving me another screaming message, I scream. It is just so beautiful to have a sisterhood with someone that's a new sisterhood, but that it's so open.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to know, because I feel like you're open anyway, but two things I really am curious to know is, are you quick to develop connections like that all the time? And the follow-up to that is kind of, have you ever had times when you tried to be open or you made yourself open, but it wasn't received, and maybe it was disappointing what you thought something was going to lead to, but it didn't?
Yes. One of my greatest gifts is relationships.
Mm.
So I think a lot of my success, there's no success to me in my life experience that happens alone.
Yep.
And I think success is built on pure relationships, like not like targeting someone because they have something and trying to get close and because they got something for you to get. It's like keeping an open heart. Like I live like this. Come on in with a filtered mind. And I think of my mind as like, you know, those little mesh things that catch the food in the sink,
Yep.
right? So it let the water go down and it catches all the trash that shouldn't be down the sink. So
Mm.
I have an open heart with a little filter mind. And so I'm filtering in all the goodness and letting everything in. And I'm screening out all the things that don't align with my heart and my mission. And every time I open up, it comes magical. Now, there's times when I was younger that I've connected with wrong people, but I think when you align in your light, your people magnetize. So, like, you came to me like a magnet because of who I truly know I am, right? Who I live by. And when you radiate your truth starts to walk into your life. And so now, as I'm older, and every day I'm just clear on who I am, who I want to be, how I want to show up, what God wants me to look like in the world. My people, like an energy magnet, just get pulled to my heart, and I get pulled to their heart.
I love that. Again, I got to reemphasize that I was just so drawn to you because it was like we both couldn't wait to meet each other.
Yes.
I don't know. I came running. I was like, oh my God, I was waiting to meet you. And then you were like, oh my God, I was waiting to meet you because we had seen each other on the flyer and we were like only, two of maybe five women of women of color in the room.
Yeah.
And we just, but it wasn't just the fact that we were women of color in the room because I didn't magnetize to everybody that way. I didn't have that magnetic attraction to everyone, but your light really did shine. It was like, it didn't feel like there was any feeling or space for contention or competition or comparison. And it was just beautiful. And it's so funny after I spoke. So I spoke before Leah. Leah was like the closing speaker.
Shut down.
But this was funny. So she comes from all the way across the room at her table. She comes running over like, oh my God, oh my God. Like, y'all, she made me feel like a rock star. First part of me was like, who is this crazy lady? And why do I like her? I gotta be a little crazy in me too. And she's like, can you be my mentor? And we hugging and loving. And I know the people around was like, really, girls? They probably like, really, girls? But we didn't care.
Cut a conversation off. It was somebody already in mid-conversation. And that's not even normally who I am. But I was just so drawn to you. And it's so interesting. I'm sure many of you have heard Dr. Wood speak, but that was my first time. And like every sentence was pulling me like closer and closer to her. And just, I love listening to the message. So the message had power. And then the oration presentation had power. So I'm just like learning in like double blessing ways. And then somehow at the end, you dropped in that you learned from Les Brown. And so I immediately knew we were connected because my mother wrote my very first speech when I was in fourth grade for me. And I could barely write and read. I'm from all the poverties of it all. And so, sorry, my school district really wasn't teaching me that much. But my mother, I said I wanted to speak. And she's like, okay. She was crippled by, I'd say, generational curses. So we were in the projects and homeless shelters, but she had this gift of word and she would speak in such a beautiful way. And she would pour into her children like that. And I said, like, I want to do speak. And this oratorical competition came up. And I'm like, but I can't write. And so she's like, I'm going to write your speech for you. And I just want to share that the last sentence of the speech that she wrote me in fourth grade, and I'm 46 now. And I remember to this day, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. And if you can't do it, It can't be done. And if you know who says that in parting, I wish you much success in the future. That's Les Brown. So as soon as you dropped Les Brown, I was like, oh, we are just so in alignment. And I think when you live in the quest to seek, you will find. And so I'm seeking knowledge, I'm seeking light, and you'll get those little nuggets to let you know, like, oh, that's a divine connection right there. I found it. So let me go reach to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so let's shift just a little bit because I want them to know all about your business and like kind of, what y'all, she is the did I tell you? Did I mention that the line was wrapped around the flipping room? I mean, the women were just like, and that's what made me come over. I'm not lying. That's what made me come over because I didn't know you. I had seen your face on the flyer and a few things, and I'm like, okay, but I didn't know you. I didn't really know what you did like that. I just saw a sister that was in need, and I'm like, okay, you
Big
can't
need.
let another sister. You know what I'm saying? You can't just see a sister in need and not offer help. Like, who does that? So then I saw the stuff and I was like, oh my God, I'm looking at the jewelry and I'm looking at the bracelets and I'm looking at and it's literally wearable joy. And it has joy or worthy and the necklaces that and all these beautiful pieces. And then I did some real research on you and I was like, when I did the real research, I was like, this chick is blowing smoke up my butt because she is freaking amazing. I was like, this is what I really called it. There's half a bit on QVC. She been in Oprah magazine. She done spoke with Brendan Burchard. And I'm naming this stuff, and I'm in my house screaming, y'all. Like, look at this. But she made me feel like I was significant. It was literally like, I see you. There was no ego. There was no nose up in the air. I would never know it. I didn't know it because she told me these things about her. I went to her website and started looking her up and go, like, who is she really? Like, what she really do? What she sell? I don't know this woman. And when I saw that stuff, when I tell you, I could have fallen out on the floor and just rolled around because it was so beautiful. It made our connection that much more beautiful that you were that beautiful of a light, regardless of how big you really are in the world. Let me do this one thing and then I'm gonna throw it over to you to tell us all about coming. I was on, okay, so Leah just celebrated her birthday. What was it, last Monday?
Yes, 46.
Last Monday, right? So she had left. I told you we've been leaving each other messages back and forth. So she had told me it was her birthday and that she was going to LA, but she didn't tell me where she was going. I was like, well, once I found out, I was like, well, I guess I wasn't good enough to know where she was going. Okay, anyway, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so so she told me she's going to LA. She's celebrating her birthday. So I'm on Instagram a few days later, and I'm just, stuff comes up, and I follow people, and I scroll, and I don't follow everything she does, but I do follow her, Jamie Kern Lima. So her stuff pops up on my page. And I'm scrolling through her slides. I was like, oh, this looks like a really nice event. And I get to about picture number 4 out of 10. And I said, what? Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all, I squeezed my eyes. I was like, let me make sure I ain't seeing the wrong thing. I looked at the picture, and who was it standing right next to Jamie Kern Lima but this sister right here, Leah Key, looking all beautiful. And if you ain't know her brand color, hello, look at all that you see, yellow, yellow, and yellow. And I said, and she looked stunning, phenomenal, amazing. And I was like, and then I kept scrolling, and I see pictures of all these bright lights and amazing women. And I see one picture with Oprah on the stage at the event. And I said, this heifer, it made me seem like I'm this big giant. But it was so beautiful. I was screaming for you on the other end. I was sitting you a note. I was like, girl, you was wearing that dress. And you, okay, so let me get myself together. So tell us, how did you get started? And how proud are you of how far you've come considering where you started and that you decided that that was not going to be your destiny? Like, you got to give us the rundown of this beautiful person that you are who has become this mogul in the space.
Thank you. Thank you. So much joy listening to you because I don't even process all the things, right? Like I'm grateful for it, but I don't weigh it more than the experiences of like meeting you, the experiences of being right here in this community and fellowship. I just, I equate it all as God's love, right? So I would never even think to not see every human as love. And I realized that when my mother told me that she was passing at an early age, poverty had kind of really taken over. And she had given me those earrings that you read so beautifully. And she was like, life is going to be very hard. And here's some earrings, and let them be this physical reminder that when you can't find the light, maybe touch them, look at them, and let you know that there's a light inside of you. There's a light filled divine whisper, and all you have to do is choose it. And that started me on the journey that there's some power and symbolic reminders. And I knew that I wanted to just keep dreaming. And so I love this vision concept. But being around beautiful minds like this community, getting to work at QVC as a hair and makeup artist, truthfully, my light goes from vision to vision to vision. So I hope I'm speaking to someone's heart right now where you may feel you have a lot of visions. I confirm that it's all in divine order. My first vision was like hair and makeup artist. I know I love creativity. And so I decided to do that from being a teacher at a wayward discipline school. And I went out with a master's degree. I went back to cosmetology school because my vision was so loud and clear for that. And so here's how God works. God said, go back there. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, but I'm going to do it. Like your story about leaving your job that was making salary, right? And I'm like, okay, God, sure, I'm going to do it. And so sometimes I think stepping out on God's faith and trust smartly, right? Like put some place in plan, maybe a little side job to support where you're going to need support, but stepping out and going back to cosmetology school. And something said QVC, right? I was working at Mac Cosmetic. Anybody know Mac Cosmetic? That was really hot back in the day. And I was working there, and I would, if you were a pro, you get a discount. And I would ask every pro, I'm a maven, so I just love learning from people. I would ask every pro, what do they do? And this one lady said, oh, I work for QVC. And I'm like, what is QVC? Never knew. She said, oh, it's a TV station and it sells products and it's 24 hours a day. And I'm like, huh? Do they do hair and makeup there? And she was like, absolutely. So this lady gave me the contact information of someone at QVC. Now, I hadn't had a license yet for cosmetology when sent me back to school. It took me 5 years to get into QVC as a hair and makeup artist. And so I share that because don't get frustrated on your time journey. Like, as long as you're doing the work and as long as you're moving toward the vision and the dream, God's gonna do it right in the perfect timing. 5 years of no's, and I would tell everybody. So I love sharing my dreams. I think you said that. Speak it. You said write it, and then you said speak it. That's one of my that's one of my secrets. But I don't speak it expecting someone to help. I speak it. The way I process it is I speak my vision and dreams out to get it out of my body and to give it wings to fly. Because when it's only circling my body, it has nowhere to go but internally. And then, like you said, I'm just daydreaming now, right? But if I can speak it out and I can give it life, to me, the word is life. In anything, there's power at life and death in your tongue. So then that means there's power, dreams, accomplishment in your tongue. And so allow your tongue to speak out your dreams, because when you speak it out, you give it life, and then you do something else. The human is not meant to answer every need that you think someone should supply for you. But what we do have is a need of help. I think Bob Goff said that we are divinely orchestrated to want to help people. So when you are speaking a dream out, you're not expecting that body that's hearing it to do anything, but you're giving it life. But what it does is it plants a seed, like you said, in someone's heart of care for you. And so people want to know your dreams because at any way, now you've got another person walking this earth with your seed in their brain. And when something divinely connects to water your seed, they will answer. The reason why you're asking someone for something right now and they're not able to do it for you, and you may be frustrated because they can't water that seed. But when they find a way to water your seed, people will automatically do it. So I spoke my dream about QVC to so many people, and I was bartending, and this one man, he said, "Can I have a rum and coke?" And I said, "I want to work at QVC." Random. And he said, "Okay, weird because I work for Comcast." And he said, "My friend works at QVC. Let me get your number." And I'm like, "Oh, he's trying to holler." And and I was like, "But okay, opportunity." So I give him my number, and he wasn't trying to holler; he was trying to help. he the young lady, Stephanie Humphrey, texted me the next day and she said, "My friend said you want to work for QVC. Here's the contact information. I have been doing this for 5 years. Contact information, name and number, and tell them I referred you." But who are you in the dream too? So when we're on this quest of doing stuff, your heart has to be light. Because the reason why he shared with his friend and the way he shared it was how much light I was. And then that email got me into QVC for an interview. That one email. Now, 5 years I was in preparation. I was sweeping salon floors. So I got it saying, no, you keep building the strength, keep building the skill, because you know it's coming. That's faith. I know it's coming. That's truth. I know it's coming, right? And so I'm building the strength. So by the time I got there, I know how to do all hair textures. Curly hair, fine hair, blowouts, everything. I got the job. That opened the door up for me to be around dreamers and believers, but achievers. Being surrounded by like this, your community that you're creating, Dr. Cheryl, will lift you up because you're just around those type of mindsets. And I got to work for all these different entrepreneurs building their dreams and me seeing it go on QVC. I'm doing hair and makeup and two loving hearts. There's so many people in QVC that are taking me under their wing, but two specifically, Jamie Kern Lima and Vicky Sai with Tatcha Skincare. And these are two women entrepreneurs that saw my light, probably more than my skill, and said, "Come around the world with me." And they took me around the world. And what I learned was when you have a product that has intentional messaging of heart and you match it with something tangible, it can be life-changing in the receiver's hand. And then I realized that my mother years ago told me that jewelry can be symbolic. And so I knew that I wanted to pour the light that I was gifted into the symbolic wearable pieces. And that's how I set out on Valencia Key to actually jump in my dream of creating Valencia Key jewelry, which is Valencia's bravery and courage. And we know Key is unlocking. So it's these wearable symbols that inspire you every time you wear it, every time you look at it, that you have the light inside of you to unlock your courage. All you have to do is continuously choose it. Now, there's a whole lot of stuff after that to get me to being on air, but that's the root of how you get to see Valencia come to the world.
Oh, I just love it. I just love you. I'm so glad you said yes to having this conversation. We'll be screaming on. I know we'll be sending some screaming videos later. Oh, is that beautiful? Can y'all just give some reactions on here on the screen, because everything you said just resonates so deeply within me.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way you talk. I love the way you think. I love the way you process. I love the way you be, as they say. I love the way you show up. And I do believe that it magnetizes other light to you. What a beautiful, beautiful place to be. So sometimes people see us and they see the success, and that's all they see. They don't see the work that goes in. They don't see the time, the effort, the energy. Like you having 8 suitcases that you bought to that event. I was like, good God Almighty, bless her heart. So it looked amazing because there was a line of people wrapped around the room to buy her products, but she put something in. That was our number one. You got, what are you willing to put in? So she had to have the inventory, which means she had to put in finances to get the inventory. She had 8 suitcases, 8 suitcases to set it up and make it look visually appealing. She had to get that there, drag that there, and then get it back home, and then go to the next event and the next event. So can you just talk a little bit to the folks about the importance of what you're going to have to realize that you're going to have to put in and give sometimes before you get an immediate return?
So good. Well, one is deciding your non-negotiables, right? Like I really believe, like, what am I not willing to do first? And one thing I'm not willing to do is just I'm still working to build my company. So I'm working as a contractor, with Tatcha Skincare to build this dream. And so this is hard-earned money. I haven't taken funding yet from anyone. And so what that means is I'm not willing to just throw random money at anything in the beginning. I am willing to put sweat equity in, meaning I'm willing to figure out what it is and what it takes and what it looks like from my perspective before I just go spending money to hope someone does my dream for me. And now I'm kind of at the phase where I'm like, okay, I've done sweat equity. Okay, I know what a financial person should do. So maybe I should start looking into hiring. But I'm willing to put this work in and like risk the inventory, like take the money to. I love, what resonated with me, Dr. Wood, when you said, I'm telling the people I ain't going out to eat, because that is my number one sentence. Oh my God.
I know, because you said you believe in free joy.
Listen, I said, my number one sentence is, what am I willing to sacrifice to get what I need? So I sacrifice these pleasures that other people have so I could buy inventory.
Yes.
I sacrifice so I can show up in these places. I even sacrifice my time to like put all this energy in, and it can be all encompassing. But I know that in the end, the outcome of who I'm going to impact, is going to be worth it. Right now, I'm in that gap phase where the return on investment hasn't fully shown improved, but the return on impact is already there. So I already know God is coming to the return on investment in the end. And I just have to stay wise in how I spend my money, wise in how much funding I put to what, and then what people I allow in my space to utilize my time, like you said, because your time is also investment. And so you need to, I utilize my time. That most people are like, you can't hang out, you're always on your phone. That's equity that you're putting in, right? Because a lot of people don't want to hang around with somebody that's always on their phone, right?
Right.
Answering emails and not available and all the things. But I think that's value to me because I know in the end I'm gonna be able to enjoy the fruits of the labor that I'm currently putting in at this time. So what do you want to pull in now so that you can enjoy it later?
Absolutely. I talked about that earlier and how in my journey, I swear I'm not gonna cry, be a crybaby sometime, but
I love a cry, me too.
you know how you just have that deep, deep gratitude?
Yeah.
And you know how you remember what you wanted and then you finally like are in the space of everything you sacrificed for. It's just like it's overwhelming gratitude because sometimes we think you're always going to be trying to get there. I'm trying to become a speaker and I'm trying to, but it's like, when you for me, I put my money where my mouth was, and I invested and invested and invested. And every dime I made, I invested back, and then I invested back. And for me, it wasn't product, but it was coaches
Yeah.
who I had proximity. That we talked about that all day today. So for you to come again with such alignment is the power of proximity and who you're connected to in a genuine way, but that can help you to see things the way that you don't, to see things that you don't see because you haven't experienced that yet. And I talked about it earlier how, my family has been on the journey with me, my husband and my kids. Like the sacrifices weren't just my sacrifices.
Yeah.
They were the family, the household sacrifices. So we chose to opt out of any vacation for like 9 years. We didn't go nowhere because it's like if you're talking about taking 5 people on vacation, you spending $30,000, the flights, the hotel, the meals, the Disney World tickets, like, and we just knew if I'm gonna stay on this path and really be the woman God has called me to be outside of my title of wife, outside of my title of mother. I love those pieces of me, but there's a piece of me too that's meant to make an imprint, a lasting imprint on other lives that is not attached to wife and not attached to mother. It's attached to the godly woman that God said, I birthed something in you, and you are intended not to hoard it and keep it to yourself. You are meant to share it, to release it, and to make sure that other people are impacted by it. But it ain't gonna happen for free. This is gonna be a sacrifice with this thing. And so we decided to sacrifice and keep any money we would have spent on anything that was considered pleasure. And we learned free pleasure and free joy and walk. Let's go to the park. Let's go over here and watch the airplanes coming in. It was that. And lo and behold, that consistency and commitment to being willing to put it in, even when it's hard, it's the delayed gratification will get you to closer to where you really want to be. It's again, I ask people all the time, how bad do you really want it? Because people who really want it are willing not to see the return immediately. Like you said, maybe it's a return on impact, which I felt that since day one. But the return on the investments didn't come immediately. But I'm in it for the long. I'm in the long game. I'm not playing the short game. I'm
It's
playing
gonna
the long game.
happen. I say morbidly, I say this thing gonna blow something special, or I'm going out. Like it's two. One gonna beat another. Like I don't. Whoever wins first. That's the only two outcomes. It's two outcomes of this thing right here. And investment on showing up. Like we think about investment as like, and show up. There's things that you may not want to do. Do it. Like if it's whispering, like if you can get one key at this thing or place or something that may unlock something small, show up for it. I mean, when you put yourself in spaces and places, it expands you beyond what you can even imagine. Like showing up for such a beautiful event, to me, putting yourself in this space, then your mind just gets magical. Show up for the quick video meeting that you met someone just to have a conversation about them, not about you. And once you show up for others, your you gets watered. And such a beautiful, I mean, that has been one of my investments. So I'm very frugal with money, very frugal because I'm poverty. But I'll show up with me and like I'm there for people. And, it may be like, oh, you're spreading your no, because when I show up for people, I get blessed in the interim. And I'm not looking for that person to bless me.
Right.
It's me being there is the blessing. And the funny part is I hear a sentence of a conversation that adds to my vision. I see a vision on the wall of something that I had dreamed possible, but now I see it tangibly in proof. Then for me, it's good. It just shows up when you show up.
I love that. I love that. Well, I really am holding you a couple more minutes than I promised, so I'm going to start wrapping this up. I really want to conclude the conversation. It's been so beautiful. Y'all continue to give, please, reactions on the screen and in the chat. Let her know. I mean, let Leah know just how valuable this has been. Like just speaking to my heart, my soul, my everything. Your laugh, your smile, your light is truly infectious, and I thank God that we're magnetized to each other. And I believe it's going to be just a long lasting, beautiful, beautiful relationship.
Forever, ever.
Forever, ever, forever, ever.
Ever, ever.
So what I want you to do to close us out is tell us, how can we buy your stuff? Can you tell us about what's happening with QVC? And then, make sure we talk about that little important part about when you buy. Okay.
Yeah, please. Oh, thank you. I love support. I'm grateful, and I'm just grateful for just your thought of even support. Thank you for this opportunity to share. QVC is exciting. Like I scrape and pray for an opportunity to be on air because I'm not a big brand, right? And like is a dollars and cents type of ecosystem. And so God showed up for me in these two beautiful hearts, two QVC hosts, Sandra Bennett, dear to my heart, where we created this. Listen, we created both Sandra Bennett and Jane Tracy. They're collaborating with me on these Limitless Hoops. One is a collaboration, and then one is a bracelet. It's a beautiful collaboration about limitless life possibility. And the other bracelet is about guides. There, if you just look up on the bracelet, there's a heart on it, says look up, and then guide on the back. If you just look up, there's always a star above you that is willing to guide you one more step further towards your dream. And I've always prayed to get back on air, to get on air. And these relationships, here's the thing about relationships that I've been building since me styling their hair. Do y'all understand? I told y'all how I got in there. These are the people that I got to style their hair and makeup. And they got to see really who I am and hear my heart and know my love. And now we fast forward 15 to 16 years later, and I'm praying for a way on air. Just an opportunity. And these beautiful hearts say, I'll collaborate with you. And they say yes to my dream. And those two yeses allow the buyers to say yes to me. And I'm just humbly grateful for that. So prayerfully at the end of November and the beginning of December, I have these two beautiful launches from these two wonderful hearts. So if you support on QVC, I'll be pumping that announcement as soon as I get an air date. We only have 795 of one, and that's a lot to me, but small to QVC, and like 2,000 of another. But we need support because that'll let me get back on air, but you can't return them. Because QVC allows a good return, but it causes challenge for me as a vendor to get back on air. And so buy it for a friend, buy it for someone. And my prayer is that the jewelry is just a physical byproduct. So when you gift it to yourself or someone else, gift it to them and let them know that their light is limitless possibility. And so whenever they wear it, that's the words that come to their heart. If you do the bracelet, gift it and say, you're guided by light. All you just have to do is be reminded that there's always light around you. You just got to seek it. And those will be a gift that'll always keep on giving. My website is valenciakey.com. I pray you go in there just to smile. I pray there's something on there that just makes your heart smile. Maybe you see me trying to be a model or a word that I've written in hopes that it speaks to your heart. And then I'm on Instagram mostly, Leah Valencia Key. And the jewelry brand is Valencia Key Design. Just the heart connection. When you follow me, you'll start to see my journey and like my true heart. And then I know you'll connect with my heart and you'll be wearing a Valencia Key or gifting it one day. I just love y'all for listening to me. Thank you.
So y'all know what we do, and it's not just gonna be this. When we get the date, oh baby, we blowing that thing up. But look at here, don't buy nothing if you're gonna return it. It just is what it is. Don't play no games with us because we try to make sure she keep getting back on QVC. Like don't set her
Martina,
up like
wait,
that.
Martina has, oh
Yep.
my God, I
Yes,
love you.
Martina, yep.
Don't make
Yes.
me
So
ugly cry.
thank you for supporting Martina.
Thank you.
And y'all make sure. I told you I've been talking about you for like the last 4 weeks. I'm like, oh my God, I met this lady. And then we besties. Like, girl, you are bestie in my mind, honey. You know, I told you, don't tell my sister, but still,
we real besties. Well, I've been talking about you too. It's so wild that everybody knows Dr. Wood. They're like, I mean, okay, I need to see her on stage. You do need to see her on stage. You do need to go to the website. You do need to. I'm sending your Instagram to people. They're like, okay.
Well, I told you, you remind me so much of this, and I don't know how many of you have heard the song by India Arie called I Am Light. I would play it right now, but baby, I'll be in tears. And right now I got lashes on, and no, tears and lashes don't mix. So I'm not gonna play it, but I just want to challenge you guys to go and look that song up. I Am Light by India Arie. And when I tell you it's gonna make you smile because you literally are the reflection of that song. And every time I hear it, it makes me think of you. And I just love your heart, love your spirit, love your soul, love your smile, love your laugh, girl. Just love you for life already.
I love you. Thank you. As we close, I just want to, when you said that, it put in my heart to share with everyone. We all are light.
Mm.
And the blessing is in the light. The success is in the light. The dream is in the light. And so if you can choose every day to be light, it will move you toward the dream that God has put into you. But all the way, you just being light in the world is already the blessing and the gift. And the rest is just like an extra bonus. I'm a living witness testimony of when you choose to be light. I get a little dark, trust and must. I get dark. But I remind myself that I am light. And once I can keep unlocking that light in me, then God shows up in so beautiful ways. So thank y'all for being light. Thank you for your birthday wishes. Thank you, Martina, for believing in me. And thank you for Dr. Wood for immediately seeing my heart and just lifting me up to the sky. I'm just so honored.
Yeah, y'all go read her, go check out our website. Don't just look at it, order something and don't return it. Don't return it there and don't return it on QVC. If you don't like it when you get it, then gift it. Christmas is coming up or their birthday coming up or whatever. But I think one thing that we didn't say, the last thing I want to plug is that she hand sketches every design for her jewelry.
Every design. I'm like, what do I want? What would I want this shape to trigger the feeling? Like Martina showed the Sparkle Believe hoops. Like how would that shape embody the reminder of sparkle and believe? And on those earrings, Martina has just one side. I have engraved sparkle, believe, because sometimes you need the whisper to yourself to believe in your sparkle. And then sometimes you need to remind others to believe in their sparkle. And so you can decide which way you want to wear them. So everything is so intentional because it's about you and the gifts that are always inside of you.
We could we could listen to you all day, but I know you ain't got all day, girl. You got to go out there and make some more jewelry or something. Get ready for the next trade show or whatever. Can you again tell us one more time, how do they specifically purchase? Because they can find you to follow you, but where do they go to purchase to support your brand and your business?
Yes, Valencia, ValenciaKey.com, ValenciaKey.com. Thank you so much. Martina, I love you. Martina just put it in chat. That's where you can support and find these cool bags in the back. Last thing I'll say, I'm trying to make impact. Like as we grow, I'm trying to support everything that I can in my little millimeter way. Oh, my last thing is just do things in millimeter movements. There's big things that God's got for you, but if you take it in a millimeter, I learned that from sketching jewelry. I would hand sketch the jewelry, and then I would go to manufacturer, and they would say, "What millimeter is that?" And I'm like, "Huh?" Because a millimeter up takes luxury, a millimeter down, it becomes cheap quality and it breaks, right? And so a millimeter, the smallest measurement on the ruler, creates the biggest impact in your life. So just decide what millimeter it is. And these handbags you see in the back are just hand beaded in Ghana, Africa. My father was from Africa. He was a deadbeat father. But when I did see him, he saw when he would come to the homeless shelter and tell me, "This is not poverty. I grew up in Angola, and that's where poverty is. I'm 1 in a million." And I'd be like, "It's something worse than here." And so I couldn't understand it. And I got to 2 years ago, I didn't get to Angola. That's in my dream, but I got to get to Ghana. And the poverty is different. No poverty is juxtaposed worse but it's different. And so I wanted to do something there. And these bags work with artists that hand bead these handbags and give them economical opportunity in an area environment where it is so limited I can't even explain. So check those out too. Would be a blessing to others across the world.
Oh, I just love you.
I love you. Thank you.
Thank you for spending
Thank you
your
all. I
time
love
with
you.
us. Thank you for your yes. And I'm hoping a bunch of people will go over and order some products, and we'll definitely be waiting for the QVC announcement. And we're going to send that out to the entire network and get folks to purchase, purchase, purchase. Keep being such a bright light in the world. Love you dearly and can't wait to see you again. Thank you, Leah. We love you. Oh, y'all, did that just touch your heart, your soul, your everything? I'm like, I just need to go. You know how you just want a blanket and you just want to curl up? I just want to put a blanket on with some pajama pants and just curl up. So powerful. But did you hear that at the end where she was talking about the yes? And how it was, how she got into QVC. Initially, it was doing hair and makeup, but then it was these two ladies who said yes to helping her to get the opportunity to get her jewelry. And that was 16 years later. Because she playing the long game. She wasn't in the short game. And she just stayed with it, consistency, and wasn't egotistical, so egotistical that she wouldn't go back and get the cosmetology license because she knew ultimately what her dream was, and that was going to be a requirement for her to get there to QVC. That was the visibility that got her foot in the door. Visibility trumps ability, but you got to have both because visibility will get your foot in the door, but ability will keep you there. So she got the opportunity because she went back and she got the license. Now she gets her foot in the door, but now that visibility offers her the opportunity to take the next step in the journey. And their yes became the powerful door opener for her to get her jewelry seen on this platform that otherwise, potentially, like she said, to them, that's a small brand. Her 2,000 plus 742 pieces, that's a small brand. But to her, it's a big brand. To us, it's a big brand. To us, it's like, oh, we can't wait. She doing it big. Right? She is a woman of significance and light. And so it was because someone else saw that light, which is so profound. Because at the end of the day, it's not what you're selling, it's what are you leaving in people. That's what we've been talking about, the essence, your imprint. What are you leaving inside of them? How are you making people feel so that they never forget that interaction? And when people never forget the interaction and how amazing you made them feel, just like Maya Angelou says, then they will never forget you. It leaves a lasting, impressionable imprint that it cannot just be wiped away. It's not like a temporary fingerprint or footprint that washes away when the water comes along. It sticks with people. People will forget what you said and what you did, but never forget how you made them feel. And they remembered how she made them feel, even when she was there as the cosmetologist doing their hair. And now when she had the jewelry line and needed the yes, guess what? The yes came easily because that divine connection wasn't hard because of how she emitted light, how she showed up even long before she needed a yes. And then God divinely aligned the two yeses that got her to QVC. And now those two yeses become two collaborations that will take her back to QVC. And now it's our opportunity to say, yes, we support you and the light that you're shining in the world. And we're going to say yes to purchasing the product to help you so that you can get back there again, so that you can sell out all the pieces. That's our job. And when we get that link and I send it to you guys, like, I don't care what else you got going on, just can you buy one thing that you're not going to return? Buy the one thing, but then buy one, tell one. Somebody type that in the chat. Buy one, tell one. You buy an item and you tell a friend that you know will buy an item. Now that's 2 for 1. For every person who does it, that's 2 for 1. Buy one, tell one. All right. So again, thank you so much, Leah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm so grateful. Just and so full. Like you really filled our cup. And we are winding down to our dinner break. And so I'd like to ask how you guys are feeling. Like we're in day 4. Our final session, Leah, our final session tomorrow is with Les Brown. We're scheduled to be here from 5 to 7, but he will be coming on at 6 p.m. If you'd like to come on and listen to him, be a part of that, say hello, you're certainly invited to that. So Les Brown, the legend, the guru, my coach, my mentor, my friend, will be here with us tomorrow at 6 p.m., but our session will start at 5 as we prep for Les coming on at 6. So you don't want to miss that. We'll be sending out a link. It will not be this Zoom link. It won't be through Zoom events. It'll be through a specific Zoom link. So as long as you are registered through SpeakerConConference2025.com, you will get the email that will give you the link. Leah, I'll make sure I send you the link. I'm going to send it to all the speakers in case anybody wants to stop in. But how do you feel? How y'all feeling over these 4 days? Dr. Eric said, I'm so inspired. I'm encouraged. I'm empowered. Connie, full. I feel the same way. Martina says, so empowered and full. Yeah. Leah, my heart is abundantly grateful. We're so grateful. Yeah. Michelle said, I'm so full from today. Yeah, I'm sure everybody kind of echoes that same thing. And so we're going to break a little bit earlier because it has been very long. Before I break, I want to remind you all of the opportunities that we've shared. For those of you who have been kind of hanging on the fence for whatever reason, but your heart is pulling you to say yes, I want to challenge you and dare you to follow your heart. I love that Leah talked about that return on impact. And that is what we're all about. For as long as you have life and breath in your body, how many lives can I impact? How often can I impact them? How far can I expand my imprint and my reach in the world? So that, again, when I am called at the end of my days, I will receive that daughter, well done, or son, well done. You were a faithful servant and steward over everything I entrusted to you and everything I put in your hands. And y'all, that's a big deal. Every single one of us will have a reputation that we leave, an impression that we leave, every one of us. You just have to ask yourself, is the impression and the imprint that I have left so far enough? Or do I know there's more? Do I know there's a bigger vision? Am I willing to stretch and reach for the bigger vision? Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be probably unfamiliar, but you're worth it. Your legacy is worth it. Your imprint is worth it. And so, again, we want to reemphasize that we have 3 opportunities for you to come in this space of light and of love and of forward movement and action. We don't just sit on our dreams. We don't just think about them. We don't wish and watch and wait and wonder. We don't watch other people while we're sitting on the sideline. We get in the ring. We get in the ring so that we can look forward to something from all the seeds that we've planted. And I love how Leah talked about that when you plant, you're not looking for it to come from that same place that you planted. I always say you reap what you sow, not where you sow. Always remember that. I always tell myself that. Cheryl, you're going to plant. Oh, you're going to keep planting. Like, that's not going to stop. That's just a part of this journey. And you will reap what you sow because God never goes back on his promises, but you will not reap where you sow. So if I sow over here to my right, it's probably going to come from my left. If I seed over here to the left, it's probably going to come back from the right. And I'm not sitting and stalking the seed, waiting for it to come back to me. I'm just continuing to plant more seed. And so for those of you who know that this is your time, this is your moment for forward movement, for elevation, for proximity into the space that will help you to hold yourself accountable as we also hold you accountable, but also the space that is a safe space that allows you to be a giant in the world. And we don't ask you to come into the space and dim your light. We would never do that. And we don't expect you to come in and play smaller than you are. No, we want you to be all of you, authentically you, powerfully you. You deserve a community like that, that celebrates you and that doesn't get tired of celebrating. How many of you know people will start like this? Woo, girl. Oh my God. Oh, sis. And as you go along and you exceed what they thought you should accomplish, these go down. And sometimes people simply run out of bandwidth to keep cheering for you. But the people who you are in alignment with will never stop cheering. Every time you win, they're like, girl, I know. Did you not tell me that you just wrote a book? Did you? Girl, why didn't you tell me you had a new earring out? Why didn't you tell me you had? They want to know. They don't get tired of celebrating because they know that your light, as it continues to shine bright, guess what? It radiates. Now I'm in that light too. I'm in that circumference of light and love and energy and positivity and all the things that are necessary to not just birth the dream, but to grow the dream. The dream is not going to grow in darkness. It's going to grow in light. It's going to grow in a space of forward movement. So we had 3 opportunities that we extended to you. Imprint Amplified, which is, again, you're going to hear me keep saying, the creme de la creme, which includes everything that we've talked about. The 4-day mastermind retreat that we'll be hosting. It includes your accommodations at that mastermind, all of your chef curated meals. All retreat materials. We'll be doing a very special declaration ceremony. It includes a ceremony, your welcome gift, all the sessions that we're going to do on purpose, activation, light, alignment, storytelling, sharing your heart. All of that comes as a part of that 4-day transformational mastermind retreat. You're also going to spend the 10 months under my tutelage. We'll be together January through October, really taking a deep dive into this idea of sharing your voice. Again, whether it's a Zoom room, a conference room with hundreds or thousands of people, or if it's a media room, and like we talked to Kyle Ridley earlier today, and you're asked to speak on media about what it is that you share with the world, what's your message, what's your mission, what's your movement. Regardless of where it is, or maybe it's just giving a good word, a positive word, an empowering word to somebody that you love or care about, being able to compassionately listen, which is such a key part of communication, but also to respond in a way that leaves someone more hopeful than when they came into your space. That's a technique that we work on. Being able to support people through words. We talked about this earlier, and it was so in alignment with what Leah said. We had talked about the tongue and the power of life and death is in the power of your tongue. We talked about that, and then she came right back and re-emphasized it. And so what we say to ourselves, but what we are able to pour into others matters. So you'll be with me for that 10-month curriculum that we'll go through, meeting once a month, live virtual training sessions, not pre-recorded, that you've got to go and watch and figure it out on your own, live Q&A and engagement, and direct access to me. You're going to be one of our featured cast members in the 2026 groundbreaking documentary, Imprint, Dreamers Who Answered the Call. You're going to get professional on-camera coaching as a part of that documentary, your feature in the documentary as a cast member. We're going to get guided interview direction so that you can show up as the best version of you when we hire and bring on the filming crew and do the production. And of course, global exposure as a part of the documentary. You'll also get the VIP red carpet documentary premiere opportunity to walk the red carpet, to be there at that premiere as our featured cast members. And then we will do a panel discussion right there in the cinema immediately after we play the documentary, the premiere. So now people will get to watch you on screen. We'll do some of the recording there at the Mastermind Retreat. And we have some other pockets that we'll share with you for those of you who say yes. And then we will have the discussion right there in the cinema. And then you're also going to be featured as a participant in the 2026 limited edition coffee table book, Imprint, 50 of the World's Most Inspiring Voices. So again, it's just continuing. How many places can I leave my imprint? When someone picks up this coffee table book and they're at their doctor's office, or they're at my auntie's house and she has it on her coffee table, or they're at this organization or this office building or wherever it might be, or at the hair salon, and you're getting more eyes on your brand, your imprint, your mission, your light. So you'll also be included in that. You'll receive a professional layout feature. Your bio will be included as that, as well as the global distribution. You'll get a couple private sessions with me, individual one-on-one coaching sessions with me, the visibility playbook, the laser coaching labs, the hub of visionaries where we support and we come into these pods of support, the resource vault that's going to give you a lot of the speaker frameworks, proven frameworks and scripts and templates that have allowed me to go from Cheryl Wood, a brown girl who grew up in Lafayette projects in poverty, to Cheryl Wood, who was the legal secretary who thought that was going to be the end game for her, to Cheryl Wood, Dr. Cheryl Wood, the international visionary who's able to travel the world and impact the lives of girls who look like me, women who look like me, but also women who don't look like me. serving humanity. And I will share those things with you, those scripts, those templates, those frameworks. And then we have a lot of bonuses that we talked about as well. And then there's the imprint expansion opportunity, which also still gets you that 10-month opportunity to be under my tutelage, to learn, to grow, to practice, to be a part of our Unbreakable Spirit book project, book anthology project for 2026 as one of our featured co-authors, and also the Unbreakable Spirit virtual summit that we will host very similar to this, where you will deliver your presentation live in front of a live audience. And again, you'll get your digital certificate of completion for that. You will be pinned with the GSU pin because everything we do is under the umbrella of GSU, but this happens to specifically be the imprint program. So it's a suite of programs that comes under the umbrella of Global Speakers University. So now we get to welcome you in as well as a part of the GSU family. So just to reemphasize, Imprint Amplified, that's the immersive experience, the creme de la creme. The pay in full investment is $24,997, or you can break it into payment plan. The recommended payment plan is a $3,000 deposit, and then we will allow you to stretch the payments to 12 payments of $1,958 each. But again, your job, this is what we continue to emphasize, our job is to give you the invitation. That's why I keep putting my hands out like this, because it's here. This is here for you. We're here to serve you. We're here to elevate and accelerate and take you to a new season that you cannot go to and will not go to on your own. We give you the invitation, but with any invitation, you get to accept or decline. And so your job is then to decide if this is the opportunity for you, if this is what you've been praying for and waiting for God to bless you with, this opportunity to be able to come under my tutelage, to work with me, to learn from me, to grow with me. And you already know I'm going to bring you from out of hiding, baby. You're not going to be back there anymore, and come to the front so that you can be the light that you are destined to be. The imprint expansion that I just talked about with the 10 months and the book project and the virtual summit and the digital certificate and the pen, that one is, the investment is $12,997. And I believe the payment plan on that was a deposit of $1,500. And I don't remember the exact amount of the 12 payments. If someone in my team knows that, if you can type that in in the chat even, so that people will know. I know it's 12 payments. We're giving you grace to expand. Normally, and I don't know how many of you have ever invested in yourself at a high level, but I've talked about my investments very freely. And what I know is none of my investments have ever offered me a stretch of 12 payments, ever. I always had to come up with it. The most I had was, I believe, the 6 payments. Oh no, I had one. I had one that did offer me 12 payments because it was a $120,000 investment for the coaching. And so my monthly payments were $10,000 a month. That's the only investment I've ever made where I had an option of 12 monthly payments. But most of them, the most I can break it out into is maybe 3 payments. If they're being nice, they might do 4 payments. And I mean, in this latter part of my journey, that's just not something that a lot of these programs offer. So we really are working to make it an easier yes for you. Our belief is we're okay if it stretches you as long as it doesn't stress you. And that's why you will never hear us coercing. We'll offer, we'll extend, and you get to decide if it's urgent enough for you to make the tweaks that you need to. Maybe sometimes you do have to move a little money around, or maybe you have to call our team, Erica, they're dropping the link in the chat, and you have to talk about with the team some creative ways that we can shift the deposit amount or shift the payment amounts, and we're willing to do that. But at the end of the day, it has to be important enough for you to say yes to you. And so again, for imprint expansion, I don't see it yet. I think someone in the team is going to type it in the chat. I do know that it's $12,997 and the deposit is $1,500 with 12 payments. And I think the payments might be 1,000 or 1,050 per payment, something like that. And then last but not least, because we do want to create an opportunity for everybody. Thank you so much for putting that in there. Yes, expansion is 12 payments of $1,049. And then for those of you who say, I can't do either. I would love to, my heart wants it, but I can't right now. But I don't want to miss this opportunity to work with you, to be under your tutelage, to be a part of this amazing community, to grow, and to be able to cut my learning curve of growth. because I know, Dr. Cheryl, you're not a gatekeeper. You richly share information, content, and resources, as well as connections. Um, but I need something that's a little more economical for me where I am. You can certainly get in and start at the Imprint Aligned program, which again, still, we're giving you the 10-month access to me. And that program over Aligned, did I just share Aligned? I might have given the wrong info. Aligned is 5997. That's Aligned. Expansion does include the 10 months, the book, and the virtual summit, but it also has quite a few other deliverables in that program that are not in Aligned. So expansion is mid. So just think three tiers. Your top tier is amplified, which gives you everything, but amplified is the only option that gives you the documentary, the VIP premiere and panel discussion for the documentary where you're walking the red carpet and having the discussion afterwards. It is the only option that gives you the coffee table book as well as the 4-day mastermind retreat. That is the only program that gives you that. When we move to the mid tier, which is Imprint expansion at 12997 or a $1,500 deposit and 12 payments of 1049, then thank you for putting that there, Stacy. I appreciate you. That one, it doesn't give you, those juicier deliverables, but it still gives you the core content and access to me. And it does include the book and it does include the virtual summit, as well as some other things. I don't have it in front of me right now, and I'm scared to go looking for it on my computer because I only have about 150 windows open, and I know it's going to be chaos. So I think I've done pretty good for 4 days, y'all, being organized and having it together, but it's okay. It's okay. We can get you the printout. We have everything in PDF documents for you to look at so that you can see everything that are the deliverables and what the value is on each of those deliverables. And so that's mid-tier or your amplified expansion. And then the entry tier is your Imprint Aligned program. And that one is 5997. It does include the 10 months of training with me. And I think they're typing in the chat which each program include. Thank you guys. You guys are so on it. I'm so grateful. Can y'all please give love to my team? Like, they are amazing and they have been working around the clock to make sure this experience is amazing for me and for you. If it's amazing for me, then they don't have to get the grouchy Dr. Cheryl. And I get to be nice and smiling for you guys. But seriously, they have been working around the clock. I'm like, as soon as we hang up and we go to bed, they feel like, okay, let's go. We waking right back up the next morning, like, see y'all online at 7:45. And we get here even earlier than that because we want to make sure everything's working behind the scenes. And they've been doing that for 4 days straight. So kudos to each and every one of you. And there's the information for Aligned. It is 5997, or you can make a deposit of 1,000 and we'll stretch it to 10 payments of 599. Whichever tier you choose, just know that you're going to get great value. How many people have you heard? How many of my clients have you heard come to the stage and just, we didn't script it, we didn't discuss it, we didn't practice it. I just let them share what's your experience, and you heard it for yourself from their mouths, not from my mouth. And somebody who the other day, Myra Figueroa Clark, who spoke, finding calm in the chaos, said, Dr. Cheryl, you shouldn't even be selling this thing. You should just let us talk. I'm like, well, I kind of think they probably need to hear from me too, Myra. But I love that confidence that my clients have in what they know you're going to get because they've already experienced it. And many of them are going to come into some of these programs. Some of them are actually going to become a part of these programs because they're not done. They're just getting started. And so the thing that is not growing is dying. We always want to be on the side of growth. Always. I want to be expanding my mind. I want to be expanding my light. I want to be expanding my impact, my fingerprint. I don't want that to end for as long as I have life and breath in my body. Thank you, God. But let me show you that I'm grateful for it. Not just say I'm grateful for it. Let me show you by the way that I show up, the way that I move in the world, the way that I use my gifts, not keeping my gifts wrapped up in a box and not sharing it. So you get to choose what works for you. And if you know that you want a certain program, when I tell you my team is creative and you need a creative payment plan, baby, we don't play no games. We don't play no games because at the end of the day, Yes, there has to be an investment because we value investments. Just like the gentleman who didn't pay for Disney, so they just kind of BS'd around with the tickets. But had he paid that $1,500 per person for his family of 6, they'd have been there when the doors open, and they would have stayed till the doors closed. So yes, it's important because you value it more when you make the investment in it. You will show up. Because I don't know anybody who's going to spend their hard-earned money and then not show up. That just wouldn't even logically make sense. So it's this thing that helps you to move forward because nobody wants to just dump money out. So if you're paying it, you're going to show up and you're going to be in it. And let me tell you something about Dr. Cheryl. I don't miss sessions. I don't miss calls. I don't reschedule. I don't cancel. I'm always going to be here. God willing, let me knock on wood. Unless something significant happens and there's an emergency that requires me to reschedule. But even if I did, I think I might have rescheduled 2 sessions in a whole year last year. Only 2. And all I did was added those 2 to the end of the year, and I gave my people 2 additional sessions. So everything, I go down my list and make sure you got everything that I said you would get, you're going to get, but then you're going to get more. The stuff I didn't even put on the sheet. I didn't put it on the sheet, but that's what you're going to get more than what's promised. And everyone echoed that beautifully without being prodded and without us practicing or it being scripted. So if, let's say, you want the imprint amplified, you want the top tier, you want the creme de la creme, but you're like, I can't do the 3,000 deposit right now, but I could do 1,000, or I could do 1,500, or whatever your number might be that works for where you are right now. Especially for those of you who were like, was it Renika? Was like, I came in and I wasn't planning on buying nothing. I wasn't buying nothing, but she got into the space with the light and the love and the possibility and the reminder that you got to show up for you. Because you're showing up for everybody else, you're supporting everybody else, but are you showing up for you and making sure that your imprint is left in a deep impression, not a surface impression? So that's what we mean when we say we can get very creative in making sure that it works for you. So if you need to adjust the deposit, or if you need to add 1 extra month or something to the 12 month, and you're like, well, could I do 13? Because that'll lower my payments to this amount and I can handle this amount. That's what we mean by creative. We get very creative in the people who want it. All we ask is that you be sure that you want it. Because my commitment is here to you. This is my life's work. This is not a job. This is not some side gig. This is my life's work. This is my life's legacy. This is my light, as Leah talked about, in the world. So I'm going to show up, and I'm going to show up for you in a big way. And yes, I'm going to challenge you. And yes, I'm going to dare you. And yes, I'm going to stretch you. But when you look at the version of you 12 months from now, from the time that we start working together, you will be barely recognizable. It's really true. And you heard the stories about that today. Same with the imprint expansion. If we have proposed a certain amount of a deposit, and if you're unable to do that 1,500 deposit, and maybe you say, well, I can only do half of that, Dr. Shaw, I can only do 750, or I got 500 because I want in, at least that's a good faith deposit that says I'm committed. I'm not just interested in, I'm not just talking about it. I really want in. Would you call our people, call the team, or text the team, or email SherylPowers@gmail.com. We're going to keep posting that there. And then if you say, okay, I can do that, I can do the rest. I can do the 12 months of 1049, or I need an extra month. Can I do 13 months of this amount? So everything is there for you to be, they will work with you to creatively make sure that if you want to say yes to you and you're committed to your yes, it's our job to find a way to make it work for you. That's our commitment to you, right? Because everybody is not in the same place, in the same space. And we just want to make sure that you don't opt out because you think that there are no options. Oh, that's good. I'm about to add that to my little list of my little cute sayings, y'all. We want to make sure you don't opt out because you don't feel like you have no options. Come on. I hope this afternoon session has just blessed you the way it's blessed me. We're releasing just a little bit early because, maybe only 12 minutes early. I don't know, about 40 minutes early. But I think that that's a good thing so that you guys can refresh a little bit. You'll have time to kind of sit and decompress, and my team will they're not going to have time to decompress because they're going to be taking y'all calls. But they will decompress tomorrow because tomorrow we only have 2 hours that we're going to be together. So this is our final day, day 4. We're wrapping up today, other than our 2-hour session tomorrow with the legend, the guru himself, Les Brown. So we're going to break for dinner now. You're going to come back from dinner at 6. Let's do 6:45. Okay, that's giving you about 2 hours. Let's do 6:50. Let's make it exactly 2 hours. So comeback time is 6:50. What time, y'all? Tell me in the chat. What time you coming back? Because I know you coming back. So you can get this last piece of goodness and juice and light and love and all the great stuff. Leah just she just like a little blanket wrapped around you. 6:50, 6:50. Do not miss the closing session. 6:50. You got 2 whole hours to refresh, re-energize, get a bite to eat. Let everything just permeate all through your body and your soul and your being, and to also reflect on the decision that you're going to make for you. The team has posted there in the chat, I believe. I'm trying to find where. We want to make sure that's the last thing that they see, that you please, my team, post there who they're calling or how they're contacting us, even if you just want to have a conversation. So it's not if you make the call or you send the text or send the email, we're not saying, oh, you locked in because you called us. No, but we do owe you a conversation if you have questions or you need clarity, or you want to make sure what you want to propose is doable. We want to make sure you have the opportunity to do that. So we just want you to be able to hear someone share with you any questions that you might have. We want to answer them. Any clarity that you need, we want to make sure that we offer that. And let me throw this last thing in there. And I normally don't do this, but I am going to do this. And my team is not happy about this, but I just feel a pulling. I feel a calling. I can't ignore it. I'm sorry, team. I'm sorry. For those of you who there is something very specific that you really want in this, let's say you really want the creme de la creme, the top package, but somehow you just can't make things work for that. But there's something specific that stands out for you and to you that is in any part of what we offered. I still want you to text my team, because we may be able to do somewhat of a la carte for you that will allow you to at least get the piece that you want. So if you, let's say you want to do something, Dr. Cheryl, I want to be in that documentary so bad. Okay. Let's see what that could look like. So we're willing and open to those conversations. But if you know you want it all and you want the full experience, invest in the full experience for either of the 3 opportunities. But if you're someone and you really you want in the community, you want under my tutelage, you want to play bigger, you're done thinking about it, you like it's all that I'm gonna is done, and you're ready to take action, decisive action, and make an informed decision, then just reach out to the team, have a conversation, and they will chat with you about what we could potentially do. Let's say you're like, well, I want to be in the book and the virtual summit. That unbreakable spirit just speaks to me. The journey of wounds to wins, wounds and wins. I gotta tell my story in that book, and I gotta be a part of that virtual summit. We might have a way that we can offer you that, if you're unable to financially handle the entry level tier, right? So just wanted to put that out there, because we really want to meet everyone where you are, and we don't want you to have to leave here all excited and fired up and energized about the possibilities, but not able to execute. That's from my heart to yours. And again, the team didn't think that was a good idea. It's okay. Sometimes Dr. Cheryl goes rogue. It's my conference. I can go rogue. That's all I'm saying. All right. Thank you. Love you to life, team. Thank you guys for being here. Love you to life, Leah. I'll be leaving you some messages screaming later, once we finish wrapping this up. And so enjoy your 2-hour break. We'll see you back here at 6:50 p.m. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.